Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to another video of Green Square Talks Battlebots. This is part 2 of the Potential Newcomers podcast, and yeah, so this one's going to start off with 2 more interviews. So we got to see 9 of them done in the last part of this, and we got 2 more here. For this first one, we got David Small here from Team Malice, who is looking to come to Battlebots with Banshee, an interesting flipper design, and Civilian Arc is here for this interview as well. So how's it going, both of you?
I am fantastic. Thanks for having me.
I'm good. I'm chilling.
Yeah, it's great to have you on here, David. It's always fun to get to talk to some of the builders, and yeah. So my first question then will be, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the design that we're going to be seeing, that we could be seeing in BattleBots.
Sure. My name's David Small from Team Small Robots, and Banshee's kind of a culmination of all of my flipper knowledge that I've gathered over the years through my smaller robots. No pun intended. Of ant weights, beetle weights, and feather weights that I've all made flippers in those various weight classes, and then kind of took what I learned and applied to a heavyweight, and hopefully we get something that kind of brings a more modern flipper design to BattleBots.
Ah, that's awesome. Glad to hear that. And so now for my next question then is, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with other flipper bots and other competitions? And can you also tell us about some of the experience you picked up working with Malice for the past few seasons?
Flippers are hard. That's what you learn. You take a weapon type that is heavier than other weapon systems. It's more complicated than other systems. It doesn't launch bots as high typically as other weapon systems, and there is no upside. Well, there's no gyro. There, you got that going for you. Um, but you learn things like how to protect your arm, how to play the ground game, which is super important. Your driving skill needs to be top notch. You need to be able to outmaneuver, use your lack of gyro to your advantage, and things like that is what gives flippers the best chance possible of winning. And it's not impossible. Like, I've won several championships with my flippers in lower weight classes. It's just it's just more difficult. Being on Malice was fantastic because you really get to appreciate the size and the forces that heavyweights can apply to each other. And having that knowledge in the back of your mind is critical to designing a heavyweight, because you need a better understanding of the forces we're dealing with here.
Yes, that's awesome stuff. So, all right then. So now for my next question, can you tell us about some of the design features about Banshee that kind of makes it like unique to some of the other flipper robots that we have seen in the competition, like Sub-Zero, Hydra, Bronco in past seasons, Lucky, and so on? Can you tell us about what kind of makes this design like really stand out, other than like that awesome paint job that Banshee
Yeah,
has?
that looks great.
Shout out to my coworker Ian for just killing it with that artwork.
Oh yeah, it looks
But
awesome to me.
so what makes Banshee unique would be a few different things. So, like, the RAM is my own custom design. A lot of flippers like Sub Zero and Lucky, they'll take an existing RAM and then just kind of modify it to handle a little more pressure and stuff like that, um, which works obviously. But when you design your own RAM, you can make it whatever size you want, whatever thickness you want, and optimize the weight however you want. And that lets you use weight for other things and better optimize the robot for flipping. Whereas, an off the shelf actuator might not be ideal for combat. So, stuff like that. It's also very small and tanky. Like, this robot's only 2 feet long. Like, it's extremely dense, which is kind of where the meta's going. If you look at robots like Tantrum and Blip and stuff, everything's going smaller and smaller, and that lets you save weight because you have less space, less material to cover that space, and then again, that weight can go into more weapon or more armor, and applying stuff like that is, I think, what really sets it apart, especially like Bronco, which, is a massive robot and stuff like that, is kind of where I'm trying to take Banshee. That's the direction I'm trying to take Banshee, is a smaller, more dense flipper that's more tanky.
What kind of what powers the flipper? Like, is it a pneumatics, hydraulics, kinetic, or so on?
It's pneumatic. I'm not brave enough to do a custom hydraulic system.
Yeah, that might get a little bit outside the price range or something. I don't know. Yeah, Civilian Arc, you got any questions for David?
Yeah. What motors are you guys planning on using for like drive? Will it be like brushless or?
We're gonna go brushless. Our drive will actually be very similar to Jackpot, probably. We're using cheap 6384s, possibly 6374s, outrunners, and we're just going to try to keep things simple and cheap.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, and fast. I believe that speed is super important.
Yeah. Now, is it just you from the Malice team going on to Banshee, or is there other Malice team members going to Banshee as well?
It's just me, but I'm grabbing a group of Arizona locals to help me out.
Can I help?
I mean, hey, you can turn a wrench. We could always use some extra labor. So
I mean,
nice.
he's probably nearby in your area or something like that, because he's from
man.
Arizona. So
what city are you from?
I'm in Phoenix, Avondale. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's nearby.
man,
Might be able to work something out.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm from Iowa, so a little less possible for me.
Ooh, that's a bit of a hike.
But yeah, yeah, a little bit at least. It's just a little bit further than the distance Civilian Arc has to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then speaking of Malice, kind of like with my next question then, Battlebots definitely in the past has done like robots up against another robot with an ex-team member on it. For example, Shatter vs. Malice. If Banshee got paired up with Malice, assuming both of you got in next season, how would you strategize to take on Malice?
So the big massive plow would be the first move, as is your typical, anti-horizontal strategy. Malice's biggest issue last season was weapon reliability, and I haven't been keeping up with everything they're doing because I've been busy with this robot, but I'm sure that they're working out the issues with that. But that would be my goal, is to just try to wear down that weapon. We were having speed controller issues last year, so hopefully try to blow up one of those, and once the weapon's down, that's it. It's free to be tossed around.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I forgot to ask Drago that when I interviewed Drago, since Drago's captain was also from Team Malice last season.
Yeah.
And yeah, either way though, I think if all three of those robots got in, I think Malice is gonna get paired up with at least one of them next season.
I'm hoping they bring Rumbles back and we have the Malice Rumble, but
ooh,
that would be fun.
That would be awesome, actually. Yeah, horizontal drum spinner, a vertical drum spinner, a flipper. It'd be an epic stuff to see.
It's the whole shebang.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. So now my final question, unless the Civilian Arc has any other questions, is there any other info on Banshee that would be useful to know?
Useful in what way? Like
really just anything that would be useful to know involving Banshee.
We have a lot of showy stuff that we're working on. So like the eyes are gonna light up. Originally, I was thinking to move the head up a little higher and then put a flamethrower in the scoop of the flipper. Ooh. And that would have been like the scream of the Banshee would be a flamethrower. But I figured this robot's complicated enough as it is, so that might be a next season thing if it gets accepted. But and then the other thing is the exhaust of the ram. I plan on hooking up to a 3D printed death whistle, so it sounds like a scream every time the flipper goes off. And that's obviously going to take a lot of experimentation, and it might not be loud enough to hear over the sound of spinners, but it'd be cool to have a shrieking Banshee that screams every time the mouth/arm raises. So stuff like that we're going to try to mess with to add some pizzazz.
I suppose if you need help with that, just contact Hal Rucker, since he got ducked to Quack.
Yeah.
Oh
Season,
god. Oh no.
so if things got complicated, I'm sure he could easily help and find out whatever the issue is.
Yeah, well, if we can't get it to run pneumatically, there's always the speaker electronic option. So
That's also true. That's also a possibility. So, all right, yeah. Anything else, David or Civilian Arc?
No, you answered everything I need to know.
Well, I suppose I might as well ask a side question. You're both competing at Arc soon, aren't you?
I am.
I typically don't compete at Arc because I'm too busy running it.
David's the host of it.
I just realized after I asked the question.
Yeah, because
I realized I read the audition video and I know
because I
David
know
runs
Dave.
That, so
yeah, I know David Rush and Bunny are gonna compete in ARC July.
Yeah, and Nick from Draco will be there for sure.
Yeah,
Did mention he'd be competing there. So.
And then Kevin, who built Little Ragnarok, and Caleb, who had Crescendo last season or last Arc event. Those two are my.
I'd love to take on one of the Melis team members. That would be fun. Even though even though my lifter's terrible, so I'd probably get destroyed.
You never know. We have a
at
pit.
At least though, even if basically on one hand you might get destroyed, but then like you're going up against the major team members, so. And then if you do pull off the victory, it'd be an upset. I know Civilian Arc, I mentioned this to you, but if I did end up being able to go to Norwalk with a Robotics Club group, I'd want to take on Emulsifier just because even if I got destroyed, you'd go out in style there. And
who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky, like in my little wolf fight, and the bot weapon won't work at all.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So. Alright then, anything else on Banshee or any other questions for David Small then? Sounds like no, so that'll probably conclude it for this interview. Thanks to David Small for coming to this one and talking with us about Banshee. Banshee's another robot I hope gets in, because I feel Battlebots needs more flippers, and Banshee, that design looks awesome, that you see in the image that I'll have edited onto this video. So yeah, thanks for coming once again, David. And yeah, let's go ahead and get to the next robot.
Cool. Thanks for having me, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for coming. It was a lot of fun for me as well. All right, so back for the final interview segment of this podcast before we get to the big group podcast. And for this last one, we have Alex from Mantis. So, how's it going, Alex? And Civilian Arc's here as well. How's it going to you as well?
Hey guys, going well. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. Might go to Castles and Coasters later tonight. Who knows?
Oh, that's awesome. And I'm doing well as well. Doing lots of these interviews with Roboteers has been so much fun, and getting to learn new things about their robots. And sure enough, we got an awesome one here in Mantis. So my first question then will be, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the basics of this design?
Oh, sure. So, like you guys know, Alex from Michigan. Basically, what we decided to do. Hang on one second. Hey, bud, what's up? Okay. Sorry, I got people running around. Just restart that. So, yeah, Alex from Michigan. We came up with the Mantis design because essentially there were too many spinners out there. We were really looking to see what can we do to attack the spinner population. I mean, you got the horizontal spinners, you got the vertical spinners, and some of them are now going diagonal. Everyone's got a spinner. So, you know, and initially when we started thinking about building a robot, we were thinking about doing a spinner also. But then as time went on, we were kind of like, everyone's got a spinner. So we put this together with the intent to stop the spinners and basically destroy the little niche that they've created.
Oh, that's awesome. So, yeah, my next question is, there's a lot of new technology that you're looking to incorporate into this robot that we haven't really seen at Battlebots. I was wondering if you could kind of, and you mentioned a lot of this in your concept video, which I will plan on linking in the description of this video. So I was wondering if you could tell us about that technology and kind of like introduce it like how you did in the concept video, and tell us a little more about how it works with the robot. So.
Oh, for sure. It's actually interesting because a lot of the technology that we're incorporating into Mantis has been around since like the 90s. So, I mean, I've always been a big car guy, and active suspension was first introduced in Formula One, I believe, early mid 90s. And essentially, it was the idea that you can change your suspension geometry for better cornering, handling, that sort of thing. Other manufacturers have taken that technology and incorporated it into cars for accident avoidance, protection, that sort of thing. So we were really thinking about it like, okay, well, if we don't want, say, like Hydra to come up and get underneath us and flip us, well, we just have to set the thing on the ground, basically. That's where it's at. So we thought, well, one way we could do that is just suck the wheels up inside of it. So that's where the whole idea of incorporating the active suspension came about. But then we also took another key from the automotive market in that we actually want to be able to raise the bot up so that we put specific areas of the bot in way of the horizontal spinner that's coming across, or the vertical spinner. And then we can also use that suspension to help absorb some of the impact. So, I mean, if you think the robot's getting flipped up into the air and it comes landing down, well, when it lands, it's going to be smack on the axles if it lands on the wheels. So by sucking that up, I mean, now we don't really have to have as strong of axles. We actually save weight there by making our axles smaller and lighter. And same as holds true with anything that wants to come along and whack it. So, you know, the undercutters. Well, we just suck up the wheel and the spinner goes right under it or comes into the side of the bot, as opposed to taking out one of our tires, and now we can't move anymore. So that's where that whole idea came from, and kind of how we decided to implement it into the bot.
That's awesome.
And then our primary weapon, it's kind of unique in a couple different ways. I mean, first, essentially, it's a hammer. So, I mean, I think you see Poltergeist and, of course, Shatter coming around with the hammers, trying to bring it back because, hey, it's pretty cool. So initially we started there, but we figured, well, instead of one hammer, what if we had two? Because two's always better than one. And then we thought, well, instead of just having 1 degree of motion, you know, just your coming down action, we'd actually give it an additional degree of motion, allowing it to move back and forth along the edges of the robot. So that allows us the ability to target things more accurately, because now we don't have to rely as much on the robot itself when we're lining up for the shot. And then on top of that, we can use it to pull things in. So like kind of as you see in the video, I mean, it's a little dramatic, but essentially the idea of grabbing onto that spinner, bringing it to a stop, and then attacking the belt system or the actual spinner itself. The idea holds true for horizontal spinners, for vertical spinners. I mean, essentially you're just smacking it with that big claw, bringing it to a stop, and then hopefully destroying it. And the other nice thing that we've got going on too is that typically when the spinners hit something, be it a hammer or whatever, all of their mountings are rigid mountings. So, you hit it, it's going to move something. With ours, they're all padded. So essentially, you hit it, it's got some bounce back, almost like a spring system incorporated into it. So you get that absorption. So it's not that, hey, our hammer got whacked. Now it's breaking off gears or back driving the motor, destroying our motor. There's a lot more give there. So we're hoping that that helps us not be destroyed as quickly.
Oh yeah, that's all. That's awesome. Like, yeah, because like actually one of my next questions I was going to ask was going to be, did the claws serve as like a grabber, a crusher, or bolt? I wasn't thinking hammer as a possibility of that, but that's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean that's just where it started, and it slowly evolved over time. Like anything else, at first we were like, oh, we want a hammer so we can whack things, and then we were like, oh, but we want a grabber so we can grab things, and
Why
it's
not
just
bolt?
slowly evolved. Exactly. Why not both? We can throw everything in there.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like Flip and Shatter got together and had their little love child, Mantis.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So, yeah, so the suspension system and the retractable claws are definitely what makes this robot unique and stand out to me. So, my next question is, can you talk a little more about what your strategy would be if you took on a spinner? Because if you do end up getting to Battlebots, I think it's inevitable that you're gonna get at least one vertical spinner during the qualifiers and maybe more, because I know, yeah, Quantum got quite a few spinners, including 2 verts, and when they took on Battlebots, and
2
yeah,
verts
so
and
For
2
sure.
horizontals.
yeah,
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, that was initially what we were looking at, is just the fact that so much of the BattleBots lineup are spinners. So I said we designed it with basically to fight 2 very specific style bots, your flippers and your spinners, because that's typically what makes it into the finals. So it's really, when we talk about our strategy with the spinners, it depends on if it's a horizontal, if it's a vertical, and really where the spinners are placed. Because with a lot of the vertical spinners now, you see some of them have more height associated to it, like say, uh, Mammoth or Huge. I mean, they're sitting way back up there. Um, some of the other ones, say like Witch Doctor, I mean, it's lower to the ground and quite a bit more forward of the robot. So it's really hard to say what our strategy is going to be, because I think we have a different strategy for each one of those bots. But from a high level, it's pretty much go attack their main weapon, the spinner, get it to stop. If it's spinning forward, we can really just put our claw right in there, let the teeth grab it, come down on it, and then it's basically the tooth is hitting it and driving it right down into the floor. Well, at that point, only one thing's going to move, and that's going to be their bot when it hits that and flips on over it, which should be pretty freaking cool. If it's a spinner that's moving in the other direction, so upwards, our strategy is basically to come at it and just smash the spinner down. Hopefully, we grab one of the front teeth with our claw, and in that instance, we know that the spinner is essentially going to come up under it, give it a whack. But since our hammer isn't rigid, it allows us to spring back from it. But the vertical spinner is still going to take that impact force. It's still going to slow it down, and we have the option to come at it a few more times and really get that thing to a stop. And I think typically that's where you see the spinner matches come to a conclusion, is whoever stops the other spinner without destroying their spinner winds up more than likely winning the match. So that's primarily our main goal.
that's awesome. Yeah, I was about to specify Tombstone, maybe how you'd strategize for Tombstone, since it seems like seems like when doing a lot of these interviews, a lot of people would want a shot at Tombstone, even if it ends up their robot getting destroyed. But I think you answered a lot of that. I don't know if there's anything else maybe to add to what you were talking about. But
I mean, we've got a little hat that we're going to put on Mantis if we fight Tombstone. Kind of looks like a little pizza baker hat. I don't know. For me, I just,
oh, man,
whenever I see
awesome.
that thing, I think Tombstone pizza. I don't know.
Either way, though, that's awesome stuff. Thanks for sharing lots of that. And yeah, it'd be really interesting to see how well a lot of that technology works if you do end up getting to Battlebots and then seeing it go up against like one of the spinner robots we've been seeing. How would you end up strategizing for Shatter then if you went up against like an overhead hitter or something like that?
Oh man, that's going to be interesting. Again, a lot of the same. Basically, try and get our weapon down inside their main pivot. Similar to, I mean, that's Shatter's strategy as is. You know, go after the chain, belt, etc. And they're really good at it. I mean, lining up the bot, being able to get to it. One area that we've got is that we can essentially extend our hammer forward an additional 3 feet. So that being said, I mean, we can basically push Shatter back out of the way to where his hammer can't even come in contact with us. So at that point, it becomes a pushing match, who can push who into where. And the nice thing for us also, getting the second hammer, we can keep one down for protection and then extend the other one a little further out and go to town, basically.
Oh, that's awesome. So, yeah, it seems like similar strategies put in place there with some of the spinners. So, yeah, that's awesome stuff. So then my next question then would be, who would be some of the opponents like that you feel would be ideal opponents you might want to take on, and who would be some opponents you might want to avoid if you do end up getting into Battlebots, if any?
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret we built Mantis for a very specific reason, to go after the spinners. So I'd rather take them on than go after, like some of the flippers, some of the other bots that don't necessarily fall in either of those categories. Not to say that we're running away from the fight or anything like that. Like, we'll take them on, but we built it for a very specific reason, and that's what we want to go after. Things that only ones that honestly really worry me are the giant spinners. Your huge, your mammoth, your deep six, because their access point is so high up there that it's going to be really difficult for us to, essentially reach up there and attack that drive system. There are a few other things that we might go after, tires, the fact that the motor's down in the base, so we can go after the chain or belts in that situation. But just given the pure size of it, it definitely brings along a very unique challenge.
Yeah, because I was kind of thinking about that a little bit before I answered it, and the ones I was thinking of were huge, deep six. I was also thinking Sawblaze, because I think Sawblaze would be an interesting challenge. But yeah,
Oh, for sure.
Mammoth's definitely up there as well with their size and the fact that like it's how do you fight that thing? That was kind of my impression with how Copperhead was taking on Mammoth when those two clashed in 2020. So yeah, Civilian Arc, you got any questions?
Yeah. I got 2 questions. Is the design like still in the works, or is this like a fully finished design?
At the moment, it's our committed design. Things do happen to change during production. I mean, when we're building it, if we come across something that simply doesn't work, we're going to have to make some alterations. But this is what we submitted, and this is what we're hoping to have the opportunity to build and run in BattleBox.
And then second question, like, what are you guys planning on? Well, it's already a finished design, so like, what did you guys have for like drive motors and stuff like that?
That's actually interesting. So the current design incorporates 14 brushless motors.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got a lot behind it. Um, it's not the traditional setup though. Um, every component winds up going through a special custom gearbox, I guess you could say, um, to obtain something similar. Is typically around the $2,500, $3,000 mark per gearbox. But fortunately, I've got the stuff to make my own, so that'll help cut down on the costs. But everything in it is very much custom and not off the shelf.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and
And
so
kind of what
one of our other friends in this Discord, when I announced I was going to be interviewing Mantis yesterday, one of our buddies asked what kind of armor are you planning on using for Mantis?
it's got a few different setups. Again, depending on what we're fighting against. Um, the majority of it is rather thick aluminum, so anywhere from a half inch to 1 inch. We do incorporate some armor plating in there, so your AR 500 is worked into the design, but a lot of it is the fact that it's we'll just call it active armor, so it's not rigid armor. It's all designed to absorb impact. It's not meant to, just take a whack and, bounce off and keep on going. It's meant to move and flex with the impact that's coming into it, reducing the amount of energy that gets transferred into the bot.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's good stuff to know. So, so then my final question then would be, is there anything else that we haven't really talked about so far that you think would be useful to know about Mantis?
I mean, we've got 2 flamethrowers. That's kind of cool. Other interesting things.
What
I mean,
powers
our
the flamethrowers, and how hot do you think it'd get? Or
well, I
do
mean,
you have a guess for or estimation, is what I should say? I don't know if you tested it out.
they only allow you to use 2 different gas sources, and we planned on utilizing butane, just because think it gets up to 3,700 degrees off the top of my head. So I mean, it gets hot. It's not really gonna, melt anything into a pool of molten metal, but it might get into some of the inner workings and melt down some wiring or belt or something like that. But honestly, we just put it there because it looks freaking cool.
I know Civilian Arc would be up for this, but if we got to see Duck from one of the previous seasons, I think he'd be really interested in seeing you grab a hold of Duck, draw it in, and then just torch it with those flamethrowers.
Roast duck.
Yeah, that'd be fun to see.
Yeah, now Civilian's
I'd love
wondering
to see
why
that.
the heck I was bringing Duck in there, since
Yeah,
he's
why were you-
not a big fan
Yeah.
of Duck.
Don't
But-
involve me with duck.
Look, it's good, especially with some orange sauce on top.
Ooh. That'd be awesome.
Maybe you'll make it back for one of the bounty hunting episodes.
Yeah, so I think you're about to add on to.
Oh yeah. One of the other things that we do that I really haven't seen, but then again, we don't necessarily see a lot of the inner workings of a lot of the bots, is that our power supply is also 100% custom. So it's capable of holding 196 cells if we want to go into a cell configuration. We have a secondary configuration that will hold the lithium pouches as well, just depending on how we want to set it up and what we're going after. So to me, it's just kind of interesting because a lot of the ones that I have seen, they just take, the standard 14S, 13S, packs off the shelf, whereas we're actually building our own packs. They've got a BMS in them, so it's really monitoring the amount of power that's going in and out and changing up the weapon strategy as it goes along. to accommodate for what's left in the bot.
Oh, that's awesome. Geez, there was something I had in my. There was something I had that I was about to ask, but I think I lost it. Dang, I think I lost it. So.
Did you hit it when that happened?
Green.
Yeah. Yep. Green square moment, right? Civilian arc.
Yep. You already know what it is.
Yep. So. Yeah. Anything else on Mantis or any other questions? Civilian arc.
No, you answered everything I need to know.
Yeah, I think same here, but yeah, so that'll probably close it out for this interview. So thank you to Alex for coming to this thing and talking with us about Mantis. It's very useful to get to learn more about lots of the really cool technology that they'll be incorporating into the robot they're looking to come to Battlebots with. This is another one I really hope gets in. Well, another reason why I feel BattleBots needs to expand the competitive field, just because like there's so many great robots that are applying for this upcoming season, and I feel 60 to 65, like what we've been seeing the past few seasons, might not be enough. So, um, yeah,
No,
yeah,
we're
but
really hoping for the chance to go out there and show them what you can do without a spinner.
yeah, exactly. Including, yeah, we've seen, like what Aaron Hill said, and in one of his interviews, there's too many spinners out there, and so having a counter for them, like what Mantis seems to really be, would be really awesome to see. Including, I recently thought about this, but I think it was season 4 of the Comedy Central era. Christian Carlberg did a segment in each episode on how to build a BattleBot. I think BattleBot should bring that back with lots of the more modern era technology, and similar to what Matt Spurg did and on social media with the how to build a Kraken thing. Hey, that'd be really sweet to see, even though I don't. I feel BattleBots probably won't have time for that with how jam-packed the episodes are already, and with what they have to cut out, which is too bad. But
We actually planned on releasing a lot of that as we go about building it. So to give you an idea, like our control system, I mean, they require you to use off-the-shelf, RC controller, which is fine. But we take that RC controller signal and we pipe it into a microcontroller, and we read that out, and from there shoot it out to each one of the motors over a CAN bus. So, one of the things we were going to look at is, hey, check out these signals that come off, your RC controller, and what can you really do with them. And once you pipe them into the microcontroller and take in other inputs and signals, you can actually start modifying that and sending it out, kind of similar to what the drones do with their self-leveling and that sort of thing.
yeah, that's awesome. I think, yeah, Ben from Zap mentioned that he was going to be doing some of that stuff as well with his with Zap, like what he does with a lot of his lighter weight class robots. But then he mentioned in the interview that he wouldn't be able to until he's like able to confirm he got in for, I think, spoiler purposes or stuff like that. But yeah, those videos are always really interesting to see, both for the learning experience and just the fun out of it too. So yeah, I'd definitely be looking forward to that if you do end up doing that on the YouTube channel. So
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
So then, unless if anyone else has anything else to say, this will probably do it for this interview segment. The YouTube channel link for Mantis, as well as the concept video, will be located in the description of this video. So be sure to check it out, because there's a lot of really interesting technology and concepts being incorporated into this robot, which is one of the reasons why I hope this robot gets in. So yeah, thanks for watching this segment. Thanks to Alex for coming to this one. And it was great having you on and getting to talk about the robot. Thanks to Civilian Arc for coming to this one and coming with a few questions as well. It's always a great time. So, yeah, thanks for watching this segment. And let's go ahead and get on to the group segment for this podcast and get to the All right. Hello,
Leave this
everybody.
audio in.
Welcome to the next
Let's
bit of
fucking
part 2
go.
of this potential newcomers podcast. So, yeah, we recently concluded interviews with some of the actual teams, and now we're getting to all the other stuff where simply my co-host and I, we're going to go through all the other robots one by one and showcase our opinions on them and share what we know about this. So, co-hosting here, we have Pory
Let's
Nog
go.
and his puppet over there. Civilian Arc is here, and big shout out to Cringus, who's making his first appearance on this podcast, who also came up with the Battlebots Season 7 rumor document, which will be located in the description, as well as being the creator of the King of Bots Robot Arena 2 mod. So, yeah, how's it going, everybody?
It's great mod. I'm doing good. Cringus, is Slamjob still on your document?
You have to check to find out.
Oh crap, I realized I forgot to actually add Slamjob.
Slamjob.
And speaking of that RE2 mod, I'm actually working on it as we speak.
Nice.
That's
I
what's
remember
up.
you
We're
put
looking forward
something
to
in the
it.
Discord with some images of some other robots you came up with.
Yeah, I saw the video and I'm like, oh shoot, I have that mod. I still have 70 bots to make, so I'm trying to pick up the pace on those. I'm working on one rep right now, fairly insignificant bot, but it's been fun to make.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully you'll see it. You'll see it soon.
that's awesome. So yeah, and I am currently in the process of releasing the King of Bots Fantasy League. If you are a viewer that interested in that stuff, and the first episode was recently released, so
Corey got a gimme.
But
Got free
Gimme.
10 points.
yeah, that was because
That
I accidentally botched the recording of the first part, and Pory was
Yeah,
actually
but-
dominant in that, and
yeah, I
It-
was
it-
like,
it only
I
be
was.
fair to give him points for it.
To
And
be
it's
fair,
not
was
like
still
it,
pretty
it's not like it
black-pilled the
affected
whole
the
time.
overall results too, because
Be
Pory
fair-
would have placed the same even if he didn't get those points.
Be
No
fair,
spoilers.
you
I have
Without,
to
have
watch to
without
find out.
revealing what he got, though. So
To be fair, in our original recording, the only two people there were you and Oblivion doesn't even
Pory
count.
was
since-
there as well.
Yeah. What? Do I not exist all of a sudden?
How could you forget the Porbs?
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
this dude likes Robot. I forget all the Robot supporters.
Robot, you say? I have a wedgelet from Robot. You know.
I have a part from a Ribot fight, but it's not one of Ribot's parts. So
I have a Ribot part, but instead of Ribot, it's a deadlift.
I
Kind
have
of
a
similar.
deadlift part.
I have a deadlift part
I don't
as
feel
well.
like I don't
have a
feel like
deadlift-
lugging the entire lifting arm over here though, because it's across the
I
room.
also-
Oh right, you have the lifting. I have the wedge.
Yeah,
I
I have a
also
side
have a
armor
dead-
piece, but
I have a deadlift wheel.
Dude, I feel so much more insignificant now. Like, I was so
Oh,
excited to
don't-
own this piece, and now it feels devalued. You know what
But
I'm saying?
don't worry,
oh,
every
I
single
think you got an
piece-
awesome part. If I remember,
Yeah, you got a really
if
good
I
Well,
part.
everything on
remember what you
deadlift is
got.
awesome. It's not. Everything
Oh,
on deadlift is
God.
awesome.
Dear
Deadlift's
God.
going all the way next year.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah, based. That's what I'm
But we
saying.
can't let them know now. That's a little bit of a spoiler.
Yeah.
You're lucky I just got my air fryer working.
But
Yeah.
anyway, for this part of the podcast, we're going to be going over 17 robots for this one.
Oh boy.
3 of them will be a little bit tricky to go over, just because there's not a lot we know about those robots, but we're going to do our best for it. So, yeah, so let's soon get to our first robot. So now for the first robot here, we have Apex. So Apex, very well known in Robot Wars. Some good, some bad, but good for entertainment value though. And we also saw a lighter version of it in Battlebots, some lighter events, and looking to come with Apex to Battlebots. So yeah,
What did
so
it
Apex,
compete as in Battlebots?
what's up?
What did it compete as in Battlebots?
Yeah,
Apex
in
BW.
Battlebots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Chris Danby competed with it in Battlebots, so
And they did do the thing, so No. yeah.
not they did come close. Like it was kind of interesting because like the first season of Battlebots, it had the Danby curse where their first fight, pretty much when their drive was working, the weapon didn't work. But then at the end of the fight, their drive stopped working, but then the weapon started spinning following that. And then, let's see,
Really
they had an
like that.
exhibition match in the second season of Battlebots, and the spinner was... It worked, but it ended up going out of control. So,
Yeah.
but either way, though, I think it'd be really interesting to see a horizontal spinner like Apex at BattleBots. So I want to hear from you three.
Yeah.
What do you three got in this one?
Okay, so I want it to get in. I really do. Apex is such a cool robot. I mean, even if it like does the thing, it's still worth it in my opinion because it's just like a spectacle to see. I like the concepts that they're going with, the whole like omni wheel sort of design. I really like that, and I like the fact that they like can pivot and stuff. I think that's really cool, and I think it's a unique enough robot that they, in theory, should accept it. I unless like they can't make it or something. But yeah, I want Apex Battlebots, please.
Definitely agree with that sentiment. I will say, no disrespect to Craig Danby at all. Excellent builder. Definitely like nails it every time with the personality in every bot. But I am a little skeptical as to if it's gonna do much. The design just seems kind of odd to me. I'm all in for big horizontal spinners, but I wouldn't draft it in fantasy league or anything like that.
I agree. I don't really see Apex doing a deep run. I think it's just like it's like just something that I think it'll have like some really fun moments, and sometimes that's all you really need.
Absolutely.
I feel like Apex will do well for the most part. Like probably maybe make a 2-1 or something like that. Maybe make round of 32. Who knows? Unless we're going back to 4-fight format in round of 16, which I mean,
Please.
should
I'd be okay
please,
with that.
please come back.
I would agree with
I feel like
fight, but I don't know if I'd agree with round of 16. I think I'd say keep round of 32.
I mean, I would love to have both, but in the realm of like possibility, I'd much rather have the 4 fights than the round of 32.
It's like it's designed for like each finalist to have like 8 fights. So like except for like the Tantrum case where they didn't get like a third regular season bout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I feel like they will accept Apex in just because it's a Danby bot. So, unless they try to go in with Slamo as well, in which case I'll probably be like,
I'm pretty sure Slamo also applied. I'm pretty sure they're applying.
Yeah, I think they're both going.
Yeah, because I think Craig is going to apply. I think Craig is captaining Slamo, and then Chris Danby is captaining Apex. Because from what I got when I was talking with Chris, because yeah, there were attempts to get an interview segment with Apex in, which unfortunately did not happen. But it sounds like Chris is doing most of the work with Apex from what I know, because originally it was hinted that if the interview was to happen, they might potentially get a live look-in of Apex. But unfortunately that wasn't able to happen. But whatever. Here though, like we can always talk about it here. It's not the end of the world. So.
Actually, on the topic of Slamo, real quick, I do believe that the new build is underway. I think it's mostly built. It's looking a lot beefier this year. Obviously, it's not a newcomer, so I won't be going into like depth about it. But look out for the Danby machines in 2022. They definitely look much better.
In my opinion, if Slamo and Apex do both get in, I personally I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Slamo versus Apex fight in the qualifiers. And if we did get that match, who would you predict to win that one?
Depends on how well Slimo's running, if I'm being honest, because like it in 2020 was kind of a wash, but they did do decent in 2020.
Yeah, I would probably go with, like, obviously I don't know much about the bots themselves or how they perform, like what the expectations are, but if I had to go based on just everything I know, I'd probably go Slamo.
Yeah, I mean, if Slammo can take a few hits, I think that they could win that. I think
It is looking a lot. It's looking much beefier this year. I do definitely expect it to be at least a little more durable.
Yeah, so yeah, I'd probably lean Slammo on that.
Yeah,
But they have the nice anti-horizontal wedge as well.
I'd probably lean Slammo as well, because I have seen in the rumor document, like, some of the images we've seen of Slammo so far, and it definitely looks a bit beefier, like what was said earlier. But overall, I think it depends on who's gonna work the best, because I know, like, in the past with both of these two robots, they've each had kind of like fair share of reliability problems in the past, but this upcoming season of Battlebots could be way different. Both these robots could be 100% reliable, or they could be facing the Danby curse or something like that. But yeah, so with Apex, this is one where I feel they probably accept this one, but I'm kind of 50-50 on that, because, like, if Battlebots goes with a similar competitive field roster to what we had last season, they're gonna have such a hard time accepting like all the accepting like so many robots and so on.
I feel
Because,
like I
there's
feel
been
like
so many big names that probably applied again for this upcoming season, and like Apex could be one of those where they're debating on for one of the last few spots potentially.
I feel like
sure.
I feel like the Danby. I feel like this year for like the Danby bots will kind of be like in the similar situation as like 2015 Waiachi, where like you can't have both Warrior Clan and Falcon in. You got to pick one or the other. And I feel like that's probably going to be what's going to happen with this. I feel like I don't think both of them will get in.
Yeah, another thing I was thinking of is similar to Rick Russ, where we heard from Swamp Thing that they're coming with a separate like robot that's exhibition only. Could we possibly see one of these robots in the main competition and one of them as like bounty or exhibition only, or something
Or
like
Triple
that?
Crown.
Something like that too. But
I don't think Greg and Trey are going to argue against bringing separate bots, but I would not be shocked if they just got nothing. But I think they would get a little exhibition at the end of the season.
yeah, I do believe at least one of Slammo and Apex will get in next season.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They always accept Danby bots.
Oh yeah, because like Craig and Chris, like even if their robots haven't done the most spectacular or like in past seasons, like they always put up a great show either way. And
great personalities.
I hear Craig Danby is really entertaining in the pits from other builders, so like they gotta accept at least one of them. So.
You think Craig Danby is one of those like Brits who just say like fuck every like 10 minutes?
Yeah, probably. Honestly, I love Greg Danby. He's fucking great.
Yeah. Both of them rock. Yeah. So, anything else on Apex, or should we get to get to the next robot?
Well, I got. Green Pory. Who's the founder of Battlebots again?
Who, me?
Who's the founder of Battlebots? I forgot who his name is.
Greg and Trey.
Me.
Okay, Greg and Trey are wondering why the league's losing money. This is why people pay good money to watch the Brits fight, and then they try and take over the fucking teams.
Yeah, we're on live.
I don't give a shit.
I know.
Okay, let's go ahead and get on to the next robot. Okay, so this one's going to be a little more interesting because I don't think there's confirmation yet on whether Broadside has applied yet, but
I think they have.
Yeah, I want to say they have because they have been there's been hints about it on social media on some design works, but they haven't overall confirmed yet whether they've applied or not. But yeah, we went over Broadside the last time we did a potential newcomers podcast after they applied for that previous season, and unfortunately they didn't make it. But yeah, there are hints, but no confirmation they've applied once again here. So Broadside, kind of like an interesting concept here. Another cannon similar to Double Jeopardy, but then they've also got extra weaponry there. Looks like we got a lifter right there. But that.
Lifter?
This is actually an older design. I think this is a design they applied with last year. But
Yes.
there's an more up to date one where the cannon is actually on like the side, so it can like do like a drive by, and then it has like an axe now. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was just looking up Broadside, and yeah, it pretty much supports what you just said. And yeah, it looks like weaponry. It's got a cannon and axe. Is what's being hinted at. But yeah, like you already
Yeah,
said, I believe this is like the design that they applied with last season.
yeah.
So yeah. So it's like they got a couple pictures of an axe. Yeah, cannon on the side of the robot, and lots of fun stuff. So want to hear
Yeah.
what you guys got on Broadside then. What y'all think of
Um,
it?
So
yeah.
I,
Okay, you go first, Steph.
okay, so I just want to say I like the design of Broadside. Like the chassis design in general looks pretty great, and I like projectile bots. Like even if they don't do shit, it's fun to see them compete. Like even if it's just like some random guns that don't do anything, like what Brutus does, it's still fun to see them. I feel like if Double Jeopardy doesn't apply for next season, which I don't know if they have or not,
I will.
I'm not that big into the BattleBots application lore, but I feel like they should accept it because we should have at least one projectile bot in the business. Although, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, well, first, I think Double Jeopardy's already teasing like ideas for season 7, so I think Double Jeopardy's probably gonna apply. That said, Broadside, you're very neat, but you're not getting in. Let's be real. This thing's not getting in. It's
I don't
cool.
want to say it
It might be
first.
interesting to see in a live event or something. But there isn't. I don't know if
Although,
this thing could take a hit
although
from a spinner, honestly.
if what you got, if Broadside does like have multi weaponry where it has like cannon and axe, as like we were talking about, I feel like it will have a better chance of getting
Right
because like
before we hear Cringus' opinion and whatever you two are going to respond with, from the Battlebots wiki, this version of Broadside sports its cannon weaponry mounted to the sides of the robot rather than the front. The cannon sits between each drive wheel. Each side is fully armored. Broadside Mark II also features an axe and a large front wedge, even though lots of this stuff is not pictured. So yeah, I think that's a few
Yeah.
extra descriptions of that robot, even though we don't have a full image of what the new robot looks like yet. So,
yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like
let you
dual
three
weaponry
continue your
robots.
discussion.
I feel like dual weaponry robots in general should get in. Like, I mean, even if it does bad, like I mean, we got Sporkanak and it didn't do very 55th Street, but it was still fun to have it around.
Yeah, but also Sparknock was like a last minute thing, like a season where they were just desperate pretty much. Like, yeah, if Broadside was like, yeah, I'll show up to the 2020 COVID season, sure. But I think it's like I'm pretty sure it's a British robot anyway, though, so it wouldn't have been able to make that probably.
They should dress up as Dietor then.
Greg Munson hates Dietor, dude. That's
Oh
a
yeah,
terrible
some
idea.
bullshit. That's some bullshit. We need
He hates
Detour.
Yes, we do.
Unless they straight up applied with like fucking it's like a wedge with googly eyes on it, which is like, come on, you could do
We
better.
need specifically Dietor versus Kraken. Because, like, Kraken getting a big old bite on Dietor and then just launching that flamethrower at Dietor, putting it on fire.
Who
That'd
wants
be
to
so
who wants to
epic
tell him?
to see.
Who
We
wants to
need
tell him?
Dietor.
Who wants to tell him about Kraken?
Yeah, god damn it. Kraken is not being a like crusher bot anymore. It's
Yeah,
like
that's the other thing. Because, yeah, we've heard Kraken supposedly has a redesign coming.
it's
I
moving
bet
on
it
to
ends up
some
being a
other.
hammer saw.
If it's
Yeah,
a hammer
that's
saw,
kind of what I'm
that.
predicting. Because from what because I think from what we've heard, like they're going for the same concept, but then
And
going
fuck
with a
hammer
different
saws.
weapon. What it kind of makes me think is like rather than going with teeth for a crusher, right where the teeth is, I imagine they're gonna put a hammer saw right in there or in some form.
I just want a Sawbot in the competition. Please, for the love of Christ, give me a Sawbot, not a hammer saw, not a hammer saw.
I mean, Suit
I just
Slayer
wanna-
was gonna come with both the regular saw and
If
a
they
hammer
don't,
saw.
if they don't,
So.
if they don't, fuck, God damn it! I don't want a Sawbot. I don't want a hammer Sawbot. God.
Well, Cringus, what's your
Well,
opinion on Broadside?
Broadside. It looks very nice. It's a very visually pleasing bot. But if you're doing something like a projectile, there needs to be like some proof of concept there in order for me to accept you over something like Double Jeopardy, which we've already had for 3 seasons now. It might not have been like very good, but at least we know it works. It does all that. It's entertaining. Broadside's still very much an unknown, and I think I need to see some substance before I'm really sold on it. But that being said, they got something going here, and I'm intrigued by this new concept with the axe and the side cannons and all that.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit on the same boat as well, because like I like Broadside. I like a lot of the ideas behind that robot, but I personally feel like once again with what I mentioned with Apex, the competitive field, it's gonna be really hard for Battlebots to decide who to accept and reject. And Broadside is one that I kind of think I want to see Broadside get in, but I'm not sure if it will because because of unless a Battlebots expands the competitive field, I think we could see a lot of newcomers getting rejected for this upcoming season just because there aren't enough spots for a lot of them. And I do agree with Civilian Arc where yeah, he mentioned Double Jeopardy's concept, and Cringus also brought that up as well. I think if Double Jeopardy doesn't return, but like Pory said, we're getting hints that they probably did apply once again, although that's also not confirmed. That might strengthen Broadside's chances of getting in. But personally, right now, I think odds are a little bit against them of getting in. They're not zero, because like I could totally see them accepting Broadside just because Broadside's got multiple weapons there, including they're introducing like cannons on the side, which I think is a neat and interesting concept. So, but it should be an interesting one anyway. So, anything else on Broadside, or should we get to robot number 3?
Real quick before we move on, I just to add on to that point of where it's like proof of concept and all that, and it's like a tight season. Like we saw this last season where we already were brushing up against the schedule already with the amount of bots we had, the amount of fights we had. So if you want to make it in over these established teams already, I think the amount you need to do as a rookie to really sell yourself to Greg and Trey has gone up.
Yeah,
And we're gonna see that with newcomers later on in this video. But it's a tough race, especially for something like Broadside right now.
Including Horizon, whom we interviewed a little while back, at least Civilian Arc and I did. They mentioned the idea, they applied last season, but Greg and Trey requested that they apply in a lighter competition just to show off the concept that they were going for, see how well it works before they'd like get accepted to Battlebots, which is kind of the idea of how they brought Skyline to Norwalk and a few of the other competitions they've brought that robot to, and just because Skyline had the same concept, and it'd give them the opportunity to show off like what that technology they're looking to incorporate into Horizon can do. So this might be a similar situation right there where Greg and Trey might request, yeah, pretty much exactly the point that Cringus brought up, and the point that and the kind of like the support point I was adding right there. So, yeah.
Double Jeopardy, like definitely. I'm pretty sure they applied for next season because they made like a lot of posts. Like, yeah, this is a canon for next season.
Yeah, I added them to the doc already. Like a little premature, but
yeah.
I think they're a safe bet.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, let's go ahead and get to robot number 3. Yeah, we get Diamondback, a vertical spinner. So, yeah, we get a lot of vertical spinners already in Battlebots, and we get a few more applying right here. Let Pory go ahead and talk what he's wanting to talk about.
This thing's not getting in. Thank you.
Even
I'd
okay.
like to add real quick. I saw this while I was like scouring. Like, I don't know how to fucking say it, but I was looking through the comments and I saw a mention that those little purple pink wedgelets in front are actually lifters.
Really?
Yes.
That's
I
really
didn't add that to the
interesting.
doc, but I remember seeing that. So, and these guys applied last year with purple pain, which was a breaker box type thing. Nothing too spectacular, but it
Oh,
seemed
that
very
one.
technical. It seemed very technical. It seemed very thought out. I think these guys definitely know what they're doing, but in a field where you need to bring a little more to the table, we're gonna have to see how
Yeah.
the field shapes out.
I think I'll probably agree. Yeah, looking at the wiki, it looks like, yeah, pretty much what Cringus just said. They can be used as lifters. It looks like they also serve as a purpose as self-riding as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also, lots of interesting concepts, but I kind of throw this one the same boat as the last one, where I think odds are probably against it of getting in with how competitive it's going to be. With how competitive like getting into Battlebots is going to be next season, assuming that the competitive field is going to be about the same size as it was last season. Like, I want it to expand to what we were seeing in 2016, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen, at least just yet. And
yeah.
like, I can't really make any assumptions on anything like that yet. So, but anyway, let's hear from Civilian Arc and
I'm on the same page. I don't think this thing is getting in, especially in a sport where competition. My apologies, because Blizz likes to correct me on that a lot. In a competition where it's a very vert meta heavy competition. So, like, you want to say, oh, like, what do you bring to the table that other verts don't? Like, we had a lot of like rookie verts come into Battlebots in the last season, and they didn't perform to the best extent possible, which I feel like will affect other verts trying to get into the sport. Like Dragon Slayer or Pardon My French are big examples of that. So I don't think Diamondback's getting in. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is I'm guessing the design's kind of like what like Rampage was supposed to be, but then it just showed up as like a box. But yeah, I'm sure that these people know what they're doing. I'm sure with like a more unique build, they could show up and really strive. But there's just so many verts already, and there's like already so many like this isn't that unique of a robot. Like just having lifters on the front, that's not really enough in my opinion. And there's so many established verts we can accept that we know work. Like, and even some like ones that didn't really work as great that showed that they have the potential and they could do I do think that part of my French is going to get a season 2. Dragon Slayer might get a season 2, maybe. But
And to add to that a little bit, like the whole vert thing has been played out. I think even to an extent, you could say the same thing about the vert lifter kind of. Like,
yeah.
a lot of verts try to get in with because verts are boring as is. So what they try to do is add a little spice to the bot, add a little secondary weapon, a lifter.
Mhm.
But we saw that with like Rampage, Riptide. A lot of the times it just does not work out. They either don't work entirely or they're just a complete non-factor. So
Mhm.
if Diamondback can prove that their lifters can be used in a more useful way, like self-riding sort of, I think they might maybe have a chance, but that's to be seen.
yeah. Like, this is a robot I want to see get in, because like I want everybody to get in. I want to see everybody get a shot at Battlebots, and like, so I like some of the concepts here, but then yeah, I think it's gonna be difficult because like there's already so many vertical spinners in the competition. And well, what stands out are the forks on the front of the robot. It's hard to see with the image right there, as that's the best image I could find, but that's probably what's the most unique about this robot compared to a lot of the other vertical spinners. but I'm not sure if that would be enough to accept them. Like, I don't think their chances are 0 of getting in. I think very well we could see Greg and Trey and the Battlebots production team accept this robot. But
Yeah.
I think odds are a little bit on the low side with this robot as well. But this is not an insult towards the team, because like I said, I want to see them get in. I want every robot to get in, because I like a lot of the concepts of this robot, and I think it could put up a good show. So
Another thing that even Greg and Trey say themselves, that the thing that they bring up sometimes is the silhouette test. Like, if you made a silhouette of this image, you wouldn't be able to tell what the hell it is. Like, they like robots that, like, if you blacked out the image, like, you could tell who it is. Like, if you black out an image of I don't know, it's a robot. Glitch. Like, you know who Glitch. You'll be like if they like say like who's this Pokemon, you say Glitch, like you know who it is. But if you did it with like this thing, like you're not, most likely you're gonna just be like
Brutus or something.
Lycan.
I like how you kind of reference Aegis a little bit, because they did a who's that Pokemon post and then blacked out their robots. But then
even Aegis had
a separate post a couple days later with the "it's Aegis" part and actually put in an image of their robot there. But yeah,
shout out to Aegis. They were having so much fun.
Oh yeah, I like yeah, Aegis did definitely have some design flaws in there that led to its destruction in a couple fights, but it was fun for it seems like the team was having fun for the most part. It was fun for us as viewers to see, and I'd love to see Aegis back, even though I don't know if they'd get in.
Nah, they're not getting in, unfortunately.
Unless if they come in with like they fixed a lot of those design flaws. But yeah, back to this topic. Anything else on Diamondback, or should we get to the next robot? Yeah, I might as well mention, by the way, with every single robot here, if there is any like social media info or YouTube info for any of these robots, they will be located in the description of this video. So let's go ahead and get to the next robot. Alright, so next up we got Doom. So Doom is another overhead spinner, overhead hammer saw, I believe. Yeah, a little bit of a pyramid shape. It kind of brings me, it sort of brings me beta vibes, like with that wedge design right there, but then it's got wedgelets at the front, and instead of a hammer, it's an overhead spinner. So yeah, we have seen an application video from Doom, as that will be located in the description, but I want to hear from you guys. As your thoughts on Doom first?
Okay, so for Doom, from what I hear, it's not like, like a conventional like pivot thing, but like it has like a sort of like a pulley inside of it that like makes it like spin and then like makes the arm go back and forth. It's hard to explain because I'm not a builder, but it's like a different mechanism for the hammer saw. That said, I do have worries about it. It's a little square in my opinion. It's neat. I like the color scheme. I think that if it does get in, they're probably going to either request a name change or a logo change, because that logo is dangerously close to like the video game Doom logo, and I don't know if that BattleBots would be willing to get sued by Bethesda, because but it's a
Microsoft
cool
technically.
Oh, that's even worse. Yeah, you don't want to get sued by Microsoft, man.
That's a really good point, Pory, because I did not even think of that, and I played Doom before.
And the same thing applies to Doomba as well, because their logo also is similar to the Doom logo. Like, yeah, I think that's gonna be something, because they did it with Rainbow.
With them, though, I think it'd just be the logo, because like,
yeah,
it'd be hard for them to change the name with kind of the point they're going with that one, since they're wanting to name it after a Roomba, like what they competed with and in lighter competitions where they compete with an actual Roomba. And
yeah. But I do think that they will have them change the logo at least. I mean, they've done that before. Like Rainbow was initially called Pinkie Pie, and it had like My Little Ponies painted on the lid of it, and they were like, yeah, we'll get sued by Hasbro if you do this, so you gotta change the name. But I don't know. This thing is it's interesting, and the builder definitely seems very passionate about it, but this thing's not gonna get in. I'm sorry. I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but I don't have faith in this thing getting in. It's cool. If it does get in, I will absolutely become a fan of it, but
I actually, out of everyone we've seen so far, maybe besides like Apex, I think this one actually has the best chance of getting him because
out of the 4 we've seen so far, absolutely. I agree.
yeah, it seems very interesting. Let's say that it's got a unique silhouette. We mentioned that before with a Diamondback,
Yep.
but this one I think fits that criteria. That little choo-choo mechanism that they got running the weapon,
Mhm.
nothing we've ever really seen before. I don't know how effective it's going to be, but I
I'm pretty
think that it has its promise. And I love a good hammer saw. They're a break from the vertical spinners. They're like the next best thing when it comes to destruction. So I'm all for Doom. I don't know if they're gonna keep the theme, but I'm gonna say it looks great right now. They might
I
have
like
to
the
change
colors.
it. Love the colors, love the logo and all that. They might have to change it. Might have to change the name, color scheme, whatever they do. I'm sure it's gonna look just as good, and I'm excited to see what happens next.
Okay, I
I'm sure
agree.
Civilian Arc
and
has some big thoughts to say about Doom up there.
yeah,
No.
yeah, of course. Okay, and for the record, I know I'm being a
Hey,
negative
Mantine's
Nancy.
here.
Mantine's here! Mantine, help
I
me
know I'm
shoot on
being-
Doom. Help me shoot on Doom. Help me shoot on hammer saws.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
this guy.
Yeah, I'm all here for shitting on hammer saws. What's going on?
Oh,
Fuck
this
this
guy.
thing. Fuck
Hi,
this
Who
Mantiene.
thing.
invited him?
Hello,
He
Pory.
did. He did.
Well,
Green, can I give a disclaimer?
Mantine's pretty well known for popping into these podcasts randomly just to talk shit at either us or a robot. So,
No, yeah, always.
Yeah,
always.
what a dork.
Dude, cringy. Listen, brother.
Listen here, brother.
who invited this guy in here, by the way? When
Green
did we
did.
get?
Green did. Blame
I
Green.
When did we get
I
there?
gotta give Cringus some form of major credit for coming up with the Battlebots rumored document. So inviting him to this podcast is definitely one of those things. So, but
He's been good so far.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's been really nice having him here. So yeah, kind of like my thoughts on Doom. Doom's kind of one I'm a little bit 50-50 on whether I think it will get in or not. As of right now, I think the answer is probably going to be no, with how competitive it's going to be getting into Battlebots this season. Like what I've mentioned several times, I'm going to mention probably several more times. But I do agree with Pory and Cringus, where I think out of a lot of the robots we've seen so far, I think Doom is definitely one of those robots that has a better shot compared to others. Because, like, they're introducing some new technology, like what Cringus mentioned, and you can check out by watching the application video that I will link down in the description of this video. But I think that's the big thing that I think increases Doom's chances of getting into Battlebots next season. But yeah, it's a tough competitive field for this upcoming season, and Battlebots is going to have a ridiculous time with choosing robots this time. Like I learned from Suit Slayer, and then I know Pory, Civilian, and I learned when we interviewed Boltergeist that Battlebots had a hard time supposedly picking up the last 10 spots from last season's competitive field. And I imagine it's going to be more than just those last 10 spots next season. Pory, what you got?
Okay, so I want to throw a disclaimer out there. I know I'm saying a lot of these robots aren't going to get in. I don't want the builders to get mad at me about that, because the reason I'm saying that is because a lot of there's just the field is stacked, and realistically the field's probably not going to grow by much. Like we might hit like 70 bots or something if I had to guess, if that. And I don't want people to think I'm being like a negative Nancy, like shitting on their robot, because I like every robot that's entered. I think they're all really cool. So I just want that disclaimer to be there before, like, because I don't want get hate mail from like the builder of Broadside or something being like, you don't like my robot. Like, I like all these robots. I'm thinking from a realistic light. Like, do I think that this robot is going to get in, given that, we have the veteran teams, like, which is probably realistically, like, I'd say probably about 45 to 50 of the robots from last season are probably going to return. And then on top of that, there's rookies that I am a lot more confident in, like Horizon, Swamp Thing, Poltergeist. It's not an attack. I just want that to be clear.
Yeah, same here, because there are robots that I personally would predict will not get in. But like I said, like, I want everybody to get in. I want everybody to have a shot at Battlebots.
Prove me wrong. I would love that.
Yes.
I would support all your robots.
Hands down. And yeah, because like I love a lot of the concepts that lots of people are coming out with, and that's the reason why I think Greg and Trey and the Battlebots production team are going to have such a hard time deciding who's going to be in the competitive field next season, just because like it's so competitive this upcoming season. So yeah, Mantine or Cringus, you two got anything? No, Mantine might have something you might want to say towards this team or something.
Unlike Pory, I don't care if I get hate mail. It's Beta with a hammer saw. I don't know if it's gonna get in or not, man. I'm gonna be real.
I'm gonna rephrase that. It's Beta with a hammer saw and wedgelets.
Yeah, that's true. Beta doesn't have wedgelets. In fairness, it'll probably be more than yeah, it's probably gonna be better than Beta actually. I hope it does get in, so we don't have to see Beta again. Good luck to Doom. Good luck to you guys, man. I really want to see you in. Yeah, replace Beta, please.
I would like to see Beta back though. Oh, to be honest,
Beta would be cool if they actually did anything.
I would just really like to see Tanche instead of Beta. Honestly, is that a hot take?
Cool. You'd like to see what?
I support. I like that idea. I like Tanche. That's base.
Who the fuck is that?
It's the white, very uninteresting flipper that
Banshee? Wait, Tanche.
It's the robot that John Reed and Gabriel competed with at King of Bots.
Why do people like that robot? It is a white.
Neat. Do you say you'd rather have Beta? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I would rather. You're right. I would rather have Tanche over Beta. I'm gonna be real.
Exactly.
And it was John Reed.
I'd rather have neither.
Too, so.
I heard rumors pertaining to Tanche that apparently the kid who bought, he's not a kid anymore, he's like in his 30s, but the kid who bought Slap 'em Silly was like gonna buy the Chuck version of Tanche and like enter it into Battlebots. I don't know how true that is or if it's gonna happen, but that would be hilarious if he like brought Tanche or Chuck rather to Battlebots and just called it like Slap 'em Silliest or something.
Love that, need that.
I would love that. I'd pop off for that.
Anyway,
Andy Sorrow.
Anything else on Doom, or should we get to the next robot?
Hope you guys get in. No more Beta, please. Thank you.
Okay, next robot then. Okay, next up we got Double Tap. So Double Tap, I put in 2 views of that one. Basically, from what I know, it's a horizontal spinner at an angle, kind of. So,
what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this thing?
What? This thing looks like one of those really fancy mouses that like a Razer has or whatever. Like fucking. Hold on, let me. You guys go. I'm gonna find some cool mouses that this thing looks like.
Okay, so for context, just so it's clear, those 2 things in the middle there, those extend out. They're like flails. So like when it spins, in theory, those things will like extend out and hit people.
Oh, I see. Kind of like similar tech to what Expulsion went with in Robot Wars Series 9 and 10. So yeah, that's really cool. And yeah, there's something I'm trying to pull up here.
Are you pulling up the backstory?
No, I'm pulling up a comment section from the first part of this, because one of the people that commented it on the first part of this podcast shared some info that he got from the team. So yeah, shout out to Kodak Besar. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name, who commented on the last video with info on with some small info on Double Tap and Hot Pizza, whom we're gonna get to later.
Ooh.
What I've heard is the weapon's 80 pounds, and
ooh.
Yeah, and supposedly it's gonna be a speedster. So
You know what? I saw a Facebook post a while ago. It's gonna be using skateboard wheels.
Really?
Yes.
That's gonna be
Robot Wars series. Is this school Robot Wars? Hold up.
Actually, early 2000s robot, not ironically.
interesting, but yeah, double tap definitely has some interesting concepts to it, and yeah, possibly a deadly spinner right there. And if it's fast, like what I'm hearing it is, we could definitely see them like avoiding a box rush and then coming in when that spinner gets up to speed and when those teeth move towards the outside of the weapon when it's at full speed. Because like what Pory said, this robot uses similar concepts to what Expulsion from Robot Wars did, Series 9 and 10 of Robot Wars, where basically like it starts spinning and then when the weapon gets up to full speed, some of the teeth move out towards the outside. And like it's some really cool tech that I don't think we've seen at Battlebots yet. So let's go ahead and hear from you four on this robot.
Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest when I say this. Between all the bots that we've interviewed and reviewed so far, I'd say this is the second bot I want in the most, other than Boltergeist. I love horizontal angled spinners, man. Ironside 3, one of my favorite Robot Wars competitors of all time. Expulsion, would have loved it if it didn't suck. But yeah, I really hope this thing gets in. It's a neat concept, so I feel like it's definitely up there for getting in.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I think it's gonna get it. There's a few glaring problems for me. The flail thing worries me because I'm worried that one of those things is gonna snap off and it's gonna pull a mauler. 2, after it pulls a mauler, I don't know if that thing can self-right. That's a big concern, and I always get a little worried about the idea of a horizontal bar spinner that can't self-right, because like, you know, if it hits like a wedge the wrong way, it'll flip over, and like that's why I always barely have faith in Ice Wave half the time, because I'm worried that it's just gonna hit a wedge the wrong way and it's gonna be flipped over. But I mean, it's a cool robot. This is the one that has like Pixar animators on it or something, right?
I don't know about Pixar animators, but
Or
I know it's
software
a
designers.
major drone company.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I want to say that there's a few team members on this team that like used to be Pixar like software engineers or something.
It
Which I
wouldn't
just think
surprise me
really
if
interesting.
that is true. But yeah, that'd be interesting.
It's cool looking. I will definitely support it if it gets in, but I am worried about whether it will get in or not.
Yeah, in my opinion, this robot kind of falls in the same category as Doom, in my opinion, because like I like a lot of the concepts of this robot once again, because like it's got some interesting technology that I don't think we've seen at Battlebots so far with that horizontal spinner, and I think we'd get to see a few really entertaining fights, even if like one of those flails breaks, like what Pory is concerned about, but. Yeah, this is another robot I want to see get in, but I'm kind of 50-50 on whether I think it will get in. Because, like, yeah, the fierce competitive field, that's all I think I really need to say. So, yeah, Mantine or Cringus, you two got anything you want to talk about with this robot?
It looks interesting. Would definitely like to see it. But I am very skeptical about just the shape of it. I don't know how they're gonna do that. I guess it's like some sort of like fiberglass. Don't know how durable that is. Don't know how well the weapon's gonna work. There's a lot of question marks, but I think the team has the background and the energy to kind of make this thing become something. So you know what? Bring it on.
You guys can check the podcast chat for my feelings about this robot, and then we'll move on.
Okay, I'm gonna need to take a look at this.
Bro, that looks like a freaking Mario hat.
It looks
Looks
like a
like
cowboy hat.
Deadpool.
It looks like a Mario hat, and then a cowboy hat had a baby.
This thing looks like a fucking RGB mouse pad. And that being said, yeah, let me see it. It
I
looks
don't know
fucking
if this
wacky.
will
So.
pull it up,
What
but
the fuck is this thing?
Oh, that's really
what the
comfortable.
heck is
Oh,
this? I don't know if this will
Mantine,
show up on the video from out recording this, but if it did,
This-
yay. If it
This,
didn't,
this
Mantine-
robot, this
Mantine,
robot
what-
looks like this robot looks like an article. It's like best gaming mouse 2022 techradar.com. That's what this robot
Mantine,
looks
where
like.
do you find this shit?
Is that a
what do you-
mouse or a head? All right, next question.
okay. Anything else on double tap then?
It's very interesting. It's certainly something. Yeah.
It's cute. It's cute. It's cute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get on to the next robot then, unless if anyone else has any objections to that. So. Alright, we got
This
Emulsifier, which another robot that applied last season, but unfortunately did not get in. This robot made by Bots FC or Adam Wrigley, and this robot has a huge amount of history in other competitions. As it's, yeah, like Norwalk definitely, it's got a huge amount of history in there, including I'm pretty sure it's won a few times. So, and yeah, it's well known for its destructive capabilities, and I think they're interested in bringing a heavyweight version of this robot to Battlebots. And yeah,
Mhm.
it's got deadly vertical spinner on there, wedge up front. It's got treads on there, which I think I think Rusty was the only treads robot in the field last season, if I remember right.
there's only been one treaded robot every season in Battlebots. It was Bite Force, and then Red
Devil
Devil, Red
twice.
Devil, Battlesaw, Rusty.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, we don't get to see tread robots that often, and that's kind of what makes Emulsifier unique here. So,
Mhm.
yeah, so what's everyone else's thoughts on Emulsifier then?
Okay, so if a basic, well, I say basic loosely, a basic vert gets in, I think this is the one that will, because it has the name credit by doing very well at Norwalk. It has the treads, and it's also made by, a team that is definitely very popular at BattleBots. I think I'm still not sure if it'll get in. I don't know if I would call it unique enough, but I do think that if any like vert without any other weapon on it is going to get in, it's probably going to be this one.
Yeah, I agree. The Shatter team, Bots FC, behind Shatter obviously, and Emulsifier have been tearing it up in the insect scene for a long time now. And Emulsifier is just an evolution on one of their 30-pounders that it's not a meta breaker. It's not doing anything extraordinary besides maybe the treads, but you could definitely count on it being entertaining, destructive, everything in between. So I think this would definitely be a good thing to bring onto the show.
Yeah, I mean, like, this would be another dual team setup. So, like, if we have boring ass finalist Whiplash get a second bot, and a 2 seed that didn't even make quarterfinals get a second bot, I don't see why the best hammer bot in the world can't get a second bot in the competition. So yeah, Emulsifier all the way, baby.
Yeah, because like although it's not really that other teams get a second robot here for why it's just I feel like with a lot of those other robots, I feel there's a lot I feel like with Defender and Retrograde, for example,
What did
kinda like what you were
Retrograde
talking
have?
about right there. I feel with their second robots that they brought last season, there's a lot more unique with those two robots than there is with Emulsifier.
Retrograde is
Which I think is the one thing that might hold them back in this one, because like while they do have treads, which has been disappearing from the competition, like that's the one thing that kind of concerns me. Because like if I was a selection committee, I want Emulsifier in regardless, because like just with a lot of its history and past competitions, but they're another one where I'm kind of 50-50 on whether they're gonna get in or not right now, just because I feel that majority of the concepts of it are like the exact same as like other vertical spinners we've seen in Battlebots, and the thing that's and really the only thing that's like close to unique about are the treads. But that's not meaning to be like an insult or anything, because like I said, I
Yeah.
really want this robot to get in, because yeah, like including I mentioned, like if I came to Norwalk with a 30-pound fighting robot, I'd want to take on Emulsifier just to either get my butt kicked or pull off a shocking upset, because
Y'all hear that? Green's calling
mean-
out Emulsifier.
I don't. Yeah, cause
What?
although I gotta complete step 1 first, which is bring a 30-pounder to Norwalk, which
I don't want to
we
be
might be
there.
in
I
a
don't.
different
Then we'll play
competition
Emulsifier.
rather than that one, unfortunately. But
I'd want to be
it'd be
there
really
just to
cool.
Yeah.
smoke.
But,
I want to be.
Yeah,
there
that'd
just
be
to-
cool. But a counter argument to what you're saying, I feel like Emulsifier. I am a lot more confident in Emulsifier delivering on a good fight than I am on Retrograde or Defender, because I mean their fights have been.
Both of them don't work.
yeah,
ever.
I support that
Yeah.
that counter argument. Yeah, I do think if Emulsifier did get in, I think we're gonna get to see many entertaining fights out of it, and I could see it, yeah, causing a ton of destruction, like what we were seeing out of Cobalt last season. And
Mhm.
yeah, I really want to see this robot get in. So, Mantine and Cringus, you two have been relatively quiet. What do you two got on Emulsifier?
One thing I want to say real quick. It's worth mentioning that Emulsifier actually applied for season 6 of Battlebots and got rejected. So
Yeah.
I don't know if anything's changed between then and now. Shatters put on another like decent performance. Didn't go as far as last season, but still very respectable. Still the best hammerbot in the field,
Based.
and we're gonna. Hopefully, that was enough to convince them about letting them bring a second bot, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean,
This
if both Whiplash and Defender have boring ass performances, and they let both bots in, I don't see why Emulsifier can't get in.
Yeah, agreed.
What you got,
Whiplash
Mantine?
It's Rampage with tracks. I don't know what else to say.
Jesus.
Gee, I feel like that's a little bit of an
Who
insult.
invited
It's an
this
insult to
guy?
Rampage. You're right.
Oh Jesus!
Who invited this guy?
It's yeah. We've seen the other two robots. Defender was dog shit. Retrograde was dog shit. Why would we do this again?
Well,
You know,
we do have a blip. We can make the blip argument.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Blip isn't real. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Show me the
that's-
evidence. Show me the
that's-
proof.
That's true. If you lost to a bot that shouldn't have even made bracket, you don't exist.
Yeah. And let's see. Didn't Blip like what did Blip do again? Didn't it fucking lose still, or didn't it get like a cake schedule like 0-9? Was that Blip?
0-7.
Yeah. Basically, same point from what you were mentioning, because yeah, they had Rusty went 0-2, Overhaul went 0-2, Lockjaw who went 0-3. Yeah,
No,
your point still stands.
No, Emulsifier was. I mean, it's cool. I've seen what it's done in the lower weight class. It's a really good robot. If they can actually scale it up and not make it dog shit like most scaled up robots are, it'd be pretty cool. But the actual chances of that happening are like there's like a 10%. So we'll see how that goes. I'd like to see it. I can't quite tell what the theme is exactly, but it sort of looks cool. I mean, I have nothing wrong with it. I like track robots. El Diablo Grande was cool.
Rusty
you know,
was cool.
Rusty
No.
can like literally jump off a bridge.
Based. Fuck Rusty, man.
Yeah, fuck Rusty.
Literally wasted a hexbug spot.
True.
Should have made a robot one.
We'll start that shit.
Wellsfire's okay though.
I
mean,
personally feel with a Ribot, I think with Ribot they should do a build your own hex bug with Ribots
Oh yeah.
with
Yes.
multiple, like all their different weapon configurations. I think that'd
that'd
be
be
really
cool.
cool for the next build your own set. Like go with the Battlebot that's got interchangeable weapons, whether that's Ribot, Bombshell, Mad Catter, or something like that.
Extinguisher.
But, like Ribot would probably be the best one in my opinion, because like you could bring in the
No.
vertical spinner, the horizontal spinner. You could even bring in the lifter they've hinted at. Supposedly they were possibly going to come with a drum spinner. but then sounds like I don't think they were able to get that working. But yeah, so anything else on Emulsifier? Another one that I hope gets in.
Mm-hmm.
Next robot. Error code, so
Speaking of El Diablo Grande, it's sort
Yo.
of something
Pory,
like
what
that.
you got, even though I think I know what you're gonna say.
What the
Zero,
fuck is
zero,
this?
0% chance of this getting in. Thank you.
Why is this?
Wait, why
okay.
is it disguised to have treads when those are clearly wheels?
Why does
it's disguised to look like a 101 had a baby with Daisy Cutter?
why does it look like if its weapon is like the Battlebot screws if they were on
Yeah,
like a
that's
fucking
kind of
acid
something I was
trip?
about to comment on, because, like, yeah, I see the weapon there. It looks like the Battlebot's screws, and
This
but-
doesn't look like error code. This looks like a mushroom induced like fucking like hallucination trip.
I love
Like,
the
I
color
don't-
scheme on the drum,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's not gonna
I
be.
feel like I'm on a trip just by looking at this thing. What is this?
But yeah, so I don't think there's a lot we've really known about this robot. Cringus, you could go ahead and disagree with me on that, because I think you're more knowledgeable in a lot of these robots than I am. But yeah, it's like new drum spinner, like a different drum spinner concept from what we've seen from most of them in the past. I like the color scheme, like what Pory said. I think this would be a really cool robot to see in BattleBots, but I think they're probably like on the lower tier on whether they'd get in or not, in my opinion.
Or
Like,
not.
I don't think it's gonna be 0, like what Pory said and what Civilian Arc it seems to be hinting at.
Look, man, look.
But
Again,
I like the concepts of it, but I think this
Again,
is another
same-
one where like Greg and Trey might request like to see lots of the concepts they're looking to show off here in like a lighter event or something like that, just to see how well it works and see how well it could bring entertaining fights to BattleBots. But I don't know, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring the floor to the others.
Here's my beef with this. This thing basically has the same problem as what's that other vert we talked about that wasn't Emulsifier?
Diamondback.
Rampage?
Yeah, Rampage. Thank you. That just immediately proves my point that I can't. People won't remember just like another vert getting in. The only thing I'll give it that I think could get it in over like Diamondback is the fact that it's shaped to look like 101, which is kind of neat, and then it's designed to look like. And then it's designed to look like my brother in 2018. What my brother in 2018 saw. So yeah.
I actually know like nothing about this bot. It just appeared in the subreddit rumor mill one of these days.
Yeah.
And all I know about it is from Houston, a Texas team, and it looks like this.
Cordy would definitely be interested in this robot getting in then.
I think it shouldn't get in just based on that merit alone because
Wow.
Cordy's near it.
That's
Because
harsh.
Cordy's near
That's
it.
kind of harsh.
Man,
I hope the
Good
team
shit,
isn't
Cordy.
watching this and listen to that.
It's nothing
comment
against-
there.
It's nothing against them. It's everything against Cordy.
look, I'm just gonna say it looks like the battle box screws took some LSD, got up,
It
and
does.
decided, "Fuck this! I'm gonna take care of this
That's
myself."
what I'm saying. It looks like a fucking acid trip, but the screws.
They just got up and was like, I'm about to head out.
And the hardest part is that if this thing actually does get accepted and it gets built, it's not gonna be that cool looking. It's probably like gonna be like a silver.
It's probably
spinner.
just gonna be. It's gonna be like a Rampage moment or some shit. It's
Yeah.
gonna be just like hinted to look like that, but it's not.
This robot is Daisy Cutter 2. That's about it.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good comparison. I wasn't thinking about that. But...
RA2 moment, baby.
Oh god.
But, yeah,
help us.
I'm kind of on the side where I want this robot to get in, but I don't think it's going to. I think the BattleBots production group is likely to accept other robots and over it.
This
But-
robot gets in, I'll do half of a backflip.
That'd
Bet.
be cool.
Bet.
I'd like to
Trey, if
do you guys.
you're-
I'd like to
Clip.
hear you guys think about that one for a second.
Trey, if you're watching
Also-
this gives you more of an incentive to.
Half of a
Also,
backflip.
If this
Oh,
thing gets
gosh.
flipped over, that weapon's not gonna be able to spin.
Yeah, exactly.
That seems like an oversight.
It looks like it's one of those where it drives the same way, upside down, but
Yeah, but it looks like the weapon tooth will like scrape the floor if it's upside down.
that's also a possibility. I don't know for sure, but
I mean, I'm playing armchair builder
yeah.
right now.
Yeah, because like there's not a lot we know about this robot as of now. If the team's watching this, you're welcome to throw something in the comments and talk a little more about the robots if you'd like. Always cool stuff, but yeah, I think let's go ahead and move on to the next robot, unless anyone else has anything else to say. Yeah, so I'm just gonna put that right up there, because Flame Reaper's up next. We don't know much about this robot. At least I don't know much about this robot, because all I've seen so far is the application video, where we haven't even seen pictures of even the build
Oh, is
so
this
far.
that application video that has like the guys who look like they're in the band Hell Yeah, like
No,
just like
that's
vibing, like
Snakebyte,
doing
I
cowboy
believe.
hats?
No,
Okay.
that's Snakebite. I think this is a college group. So basically what I picked up from that video is what it seems like is there's a wedge up front. And then what they've also hinted at are two horizontal spinners. There's like on the same side of the robot that kind of spin in opposite directions towards the middle of the robot, drawing it in. What I'm kind of wondering is it possible this is a wedge robot up front and then two horizontal spinners right on top? That's kind of my guess, what I'm kind of visioning from when I watched the video, but like I said, we don't know much about this robot. I haven't seen a picture of it. So.
Yeah,
I'm gonna reserve my judgment until I actually see this thing.
yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of me as well, since like I mentioned, we haven't seen anything on this robot yet. But
Yeah,
I do plan.
yeah,
I will link the application video in the description of this video. So
I'm gonna just.
My thing is the fucking application just absolutely. It's all about the team. They seem like a Vex Robotics team, so I don't know if they actually have. Like, I don't mean to like downplay what their abilities, but I don't know if they have an idea what we're looking for. But you know what? If they show up, more power to them.
yeah.
But there's nothing for me to be convinced about. Like, I have no thoughts except, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mantine, you got anything to say or?
This got a cool name.
I would agree.
it's kind of cute.
It's kind of cute. Felt like I would post, might edit later. I don't know. I mean, that question mark's in a very interesting font. That's all I can say. Really.
It's in my favorite font on Google Slides. So.
What's your favorite font?
Orbitron.
What? That should be a Battlebot.
Well, that's kind of the idea behind it. It kind of fits the concept, and it kind of fits my style as well. So. Yeah. So. Should I just go ahead and get on to the next robot then, since I don't think there's really much to talk about with this one?
Yeah, that's probably a good call.
Yeah, there's one other like this, and one other that's semi-like this, but I have images up that could possibly be. But let's get to the next one. Hercules.
This thing is not happening, and no shot.
Okay, Hercules. So the concepts that I've been hearing about this has very similar concepts to Whiplash, articulated vertical spinner or the lifter. But what I hear is that it's not like it does. I don't think it goes for ground game like what Whiplash does. I think it kind of goes for reach with the vertical spinner, like what Witch Doctor kind of does. From what I've at least been hearing about this
Then
one.
why the fuck would you have the lifter?
But then it's got more armor and compared to like Whiplash, but I imagine it probably doesn't have like the push power that Whiplash has, as well as like going for ground games. So, Pory, even though I know what you're going to say, go ahead and say it right now.
Well, yeah, I do. That is my sentiment, but like, if this thing gets in, like, this thing's getting split in half, like straight up. Like if this thing fights like Valkyrie or something, it's gonna get split in half, 100%.
I mean, that'd be
Let's
really
be
cool
real.
to see, because like I mean, it was really
It would be.
entertaining when Red Devil lost their tread, when Warhawk got split in 3 by a flipper bot, and all that other cool stuff.
Yeah.
So here's my take on it. What I feel like is going on is we're gonna have another Rampage moment where whoever doesn't one of the weapons isn't actually real, and it's just implied that it's real, but it's not. I mean,
Or it's just like another vert.
No, it's another boring ass lifter, just like Whiplash.
I was gonna say Whiplash already did that though.
Exactly.
If Jonathan Pierce saw his robot, he'd be having a fucking aneurysm about how it has like 12 inches of ground clearance.
Of course
and he's
he's
gonna
gonna
be like,
go with
"Holy shit! It's a fucking 12 inches!" Like, it'd be.
What the fuck?
What the fuck is it? Yeah.
What is this, lad?
What was the host of Robot Wars in Series 1? What was his name?
Jeremy Clarkson.
Fucking Jeremy Clarkson,
It'll just be him like fucking roasting, like how he roasted Prince of Darkness in season 1.
This thing is literally, this thing has no why does this exist? It's gonna get everything in Battlebots as a wedge, and if it doesn't have a wedge, it's got a horizontal, which means this thing's gonna get ripped in half.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it has like
It's
negative
not
bite.
enough.
It's not gonna have a lifter. The lifter's not gonna be real. It's gonna be fake. Fake news. Even if the spinner does work, they don't have any wedges to feed it, so it's gonna have no bite, and it's just gonna get shit on by anything with a wedge. There's no way this thing gets in. 0%. No shot.
Just want to say this. We found this bot because we found a Kickstarter made by a 15-year-old high school student.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and I think it raised $20. So. I would like to say these $20 came from the same person.
So he
I
didn't
don't
even make any
want to
money.
hate on the kid because he obviously, he cares enough to put this CAD together. It's a little thing. You can see the little Omni wheels here, but like, give it a couple years, kid. I think it'll do you well.
Speaking of kids funding BattleBots, you guys see the NFTs on the BattleBots subreddit? That was
I
huge.
saw that. No, that was he literally copied and pasted the same thing into like he's like, I want to build robots for NAS. I want to build robots for
Wait. Can I get a link to this?
No, it got deleted because
It got
the
deleted
BattleBots
because
subreddit
everyone
bullied them.
tore into this kid.
It was some like 14-year-old and he got bullied by the BattleBots subreddit.
Dot, you know what though? You know what? Quick little tangent. If I was to get in on the NFT scam thing, I'd rather be on the site making money. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say.
It's like
Okay,
it's like Bunny said in response
that bread.
to the criticism he got on the subreddit. Welcome to Battlebots.
Look, get that bread, kid. Just not on our site.
So I'm on the GoFundMe page right now. They've raised $20 from Anonymous. They donated a month ago. The builder is 15 years old, and they think that they're gonna build a heavyweight robot and compete in BattleBots with $10,000.
Yeah, they are, dude. Jackpot only costs 4,000, bro.
Yeah, but the Jackpot team had like a machine shop and shit. Like,
No, dude, no, dude.
A lot of the stuff Jackpot had was homemade. So.
No, dude, but
Yeah.
but it was only $4,000 though, dude. They can do it.
Yeah. That's true. But like, I don't know. It's I mean, the guy's like 15, so I'll cut him some slack.
They're gonna make a fucking Disney movie about it, Pory. Stop hating.
I do have belief in Hercules because, like you said, it's like what you said, it was made by a high school team in California, and like it's always really cool to have youngsters like in BattleBots, and this is definitely one of those that will make like the competitive feel a little bit unique there, but because basically this one has very similar concepts to Whiplash, but then bigger weapon, more armor, but no ground game from what I'm looking at here and what I've seen on the wiki.
Do you really think it
So-
has more armor though? I mean, Whiplash is pretty.
Here's the thing, right?
Well,
Two
by
things.
more armor, I mean like the wheels are protected and.
Yeah.
I feel like the
I'm
NC.
not sure if it's gonna be like as well protected as like Whiplash is, but
I feel like the NCR has a better chance of beating the Legion than this thing actually.
So
winning.
that was a base reference. So 3 things. One, this thing's not gonna have more armor than Whiplash because it's never gonna exist. That's the first problem.
That's true.
wow.
Secondly, you guys are talking about this like it's ever gonna get into BattleBots. It has to be made and built first. It's not real.
I mean,
And
that's one question I have. Like, has this kid ever like built like a beetle or anything?
and
Probably
I mean,
not,
and I hope
but-
I hope he doesn't see this and get like discouraged because I want you keep your dream alive, kid. You know,
Yeah.
build robots.
Ignore
You
all
know.
the insults from Mantine.
Don't.
Mantine never
You're never gonna be
finished
anything.
his beetle,
No,
so
I'm kidding.
Dude,
don't worry about
Mantine,
it.
look, whoever this kid is,
I never
dude,
started a beetle,
Mantine is
dude. You're already
literally
doing
worth less
that.
than you. Just keep going.
No.
Keep going, brother.
Cringy is literally an iron deficient Italian kid from New Jersey. Don't listen to him.
Show me the robots you built. Show me the robots you
Dude,
built.
Cringy, show me. Dude,
Give me the
have you-
robots you've built.
Yeah, oh God, what have you?
I
built?
literally been to Norwalk.
Yeah, with a
I'm
fucking.
He's
like-
not building a
You
robot.
built a kit. You
I've
put
been to Norwalk.
pieces.
I
you
built
put
the
pieces
robot.
together.
The fuck?
You put pieces together. You didn't build shit. All right.
What are you talking about? I put that shit from scratch, bro.
You built like
I put
a
more
fucking-
work
okay.
into that bot than you ever have in your entire life.
You built like when you say you built it, it was like a fucking Lego set. You didn't like actually build it. You put it
Yes, I
together.
did.
That's all you did. You put it
I
together.
did.
You made a fucking and it got
Mantine,
shit on.
you
and it
wish
went
you could
0
fucking
2.
build a Lego
0
set.
2.
You
0 2.
ate the fucking
0
instruction
2.
book instead.
Listen,
Mantine's gone to insulting the builder of Hercules to insulting Cringus.
Yeah, me
Listen,
Who invited this fucking guy? No one likes him.
Me and Cringy.
listen, Cringus.
Dude,
Listen,
Cringy. Me and Cringy.
you're like
go
the-
He's
way
like Skip Bayless. He has nothing to add. He's just here to fucking for sound
Don't
bites.
you dare! Don't you dare compare me.
All he's here for
Cringus,
is
you're
sound
like-
bites.
Cringus, you're the powder gangers of this
Cringy,
podcast. Like you're
cringy.
just here to get shit
You're
on.
like Stephen A. Smith. You add nothing and you're just aggravating.
Nice.
But my third
Get a
thing
real
was me
ring,
and
fucking
Cringy are actually gonna steal Rampage from Dan.
Oh, yeah.
we're,
Dude,
yeah,
don't
we're
fucking
entering
say it. Don't
BattleBots.
fucking say
shit,
anything.
shit. I'm sorry.
Stupid ass.
Yeah, me and Cringy are gonna be on BattleBots in the audience. It's gonna be pretty awesome, dude. We're gonna
Do we
start
have to
off
get the
this
bowl
fight.
cuts like blend in?
We do have to get. Yeah, we're gonna be on Team Rampage, dude. It's gonna
Alright,
be
so I say you're gonna be Dan and I'll be
yeah.
I'll be Jazz.
We're planning identity theft if you guys don't know. So watch out for
I'll
that.
join the team too. I'll play the role of like.
You could be the
play the role
mini bot. How about that?
Yeah, you can do the
I'll
mini
join
bot.
in on this action too.
Dude, we have a
join in
little
on
bit
the
of a
action.
cluster going on here.
The
Sounds like.
action bell probably
can-
be at college. So.
We're doing a fucking Fort Knox cosplay, dude. It's gonna be awesome.
We're raiding their military.
I'm gonna be the mom.
That's valid.
So anyway, before I have to hear more of this, I'll finish up with Hercules, and then we'll get to the next robot. So, yeah, I like the idea of Hercules here because I like a lot of the design features, and I think we'll get to see. I think if they do get in, and this thing is built and everything. I think we'll get to see a few entertaining battles out of it, even though I think most of the time I'm not sure if they'd go on the winning end because, like Mantine said, winning the ground game is like really important in BattleBots from the past few seasons, and this robot just doesn't seem to have much ground game. But yeah, it's got the interesting concepts of the articulated vertical spinner, much bigger weapon than what Whiplash has, at least looking at the wiki, and so I think we could see some chaos getting caused by it. But I think we'll probably see more chaos getting caused on it, depending on who they draw, of course, because we don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of a little bit on the 50-50 side with Hercules. Like, I think just kind of like that it's a younger team, looking to come to Battlebots is what I think Greg and Trey might consider when deciding whether to accept a robot like Hercules or not. But I think this would be a cool robot to see get in, even though I'm kind of leaning towards the no side, unfortunately, because like this is a robot I want to see get in. Like, I want to see them all get in, no matter how much Mantine's gonna insult me for saying this after this podcast, if he is at all. But
Mantine was afraid of Grabot. He has no room to talk.
yeah. Well, watch
What
him
a-
be
what a
afraid of
dork.
Rusty next if it fights
Yeah.
it fights Gigabyte. And I don't know, but so anything else on Hercules or
No.
Mantine's gone
I
quiet
think
ever since we said some of that stuff.
Dude, dude.
I think that
Daniel
I
Knox
think
is
that-
already broken in and like just cut off his head. He's dead.
I think Hercules is gonna get fucking burning metaled. It's gonna have a big stick versus burning metal incident. It's just gonna get absolutely destroyed if it competes.
One last final message for the builders of Hercules. I know your parents say you can do whatever you want when you grow up, but you gotta wait a little longer for this, alright, man? You just need like a couple more years and an actual like bank account, you'll be there.
Wow. Okay. So, yeah, interesting stuff that Hercules is applying, at least in my opinion, even though Mantine's laughing at me for
No,
saying that.
it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. That's
But
a good.
it's a favela.
Yeah, this is definitely a favela bot of 2022.
Okay, moving on to the next robot then.
Oh, this thing looks fucking gamer. Holy shit. This is
Okay,
This
so we got
is-
hot pizza, kind of like in the design
just
concept
creamed.
here. Big horizontal spinner right there, and then a square frame, but at an angle that's meant that I hear is really going to look like a pizza box when the final concept is finished, like what we've seen
This-
on there. And I love I personally love
I want
the
this
idea
thing
they're
in.
going with. This is what I really want to see get in, like what Pory just said right there.
I love this.
Because like seeing a pizza box frame like that, and then a horizontal spinner that's meant to look like an actual pizza brings me a bunch
Yeah.
of. This is not meant to be in a bad way, but brings me Battle Royale with cheese vibes, kind of. In terms of like the design, not the performance. So, yeah, let's go ahead and hear from you three on this one.
Oh boy.
What's your take, Mantine?
This is an RA2 tier robot right here. This is like
That's why I love it.
Oh shh.
it's kind of
I'll
cool.
show you this.
That's
Mantine,
kind of
go up there.
All right. Yeah, all right, hold on. I'm actually building it in RA2 right now, just to prove to you guys that it's an RA tier robot. Hold on.
Well, it's definitely an RA2 robot, but that's why I like it. I like designs like this. Like this is really, especially
found it.
just the aesthetic.
All right,
We need
hold on.
this.
Hold on, I'm
I'm
building
gonna
this.
fuck in a copy. Okay.
Hold on, I'm building this in RA2 very quickly to prove it.
Alright.
Let me see. Okay.
My man speed ran that.
Did he already
No.
build? Oh, did Cringe already build it, dude? Holy
No,
Virgin already
it's
built
in
it.
this. It's in this other server I'm in. It's
Oh.
there.
Is it actually?
Like it got
No.
posted this morning, and I'm like, this. I didn't know this existed.
Wait a
And
minute,
I
hold
realize
on,
why
no.
now. I realize why it was sent to me
No.
at that moment. I was
No.
prepared
Wait, hold on. Wait a
for
minute.
this exact discussion.
Wait, hold on. I'm actually building it. Wait a minute.
So come on, chat.
Let me
You
come
don't know how
back.
to build, but
Dude,
you don't know.
Cringy, you are literally dog shit, bro. I don't know what you're talking. Hold on. Let me check out the build.
Do you know who I am?
No, yeah, dude, you're a fucking iron deficient Italian child.
I am
Hold on, where is this?
serious shit.
Holy
I
shit!
am
Somebody built hot pizza in RA2. This is fucking unbelievable.
Okay, so Pory, what you got at this one then?
Okay, so I'm very iffy as to whether or not this robot gets in, but like this is definitely high up on my list of ones I want to get in, just because I like pizza. My favorite pizza
Hot
topping
take.
is either spinach or broccoli. I think
So
they're
what
That
the
is
fuck?
an
What's
F
wrong
tier.
with you?
F
What is
tier.
wrong
they're very
with
good.
you?
They're very
What's
tasty,
wrong
like
with you?
a spinach feta pizza. You know, it's a very
That
good
is a
combination.
dog shit take. I'm so
Literally,
sorry,
what's wrong
Pory.
with you?
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Okay. For
This-
one,
this wasn't it.
listen.
Right, they
Mantine,
called the cheese
Mantine,
Senate.
you're a favela. Civilian arc, you're a favela.
Wow.
Oh, he's going on a
You
his
literally
Twitter
like
call
Ribot.
out.
You literally like Ribot here.
Yeah, Robot's gonna go all the way next year. You'll see.
In what?
You
But
say
the
that
lot's
every
like-
year.
Oh yeah. Oh, civilian
I
arc.
said
Oh, civilian
Battlebots.
arc. Your robot's gonna enter Battlebots. Oh, it's a comeback.
Look, Ribot,
Yo,
look,
okay,
dude,
buddy.
Ribot's a good robot, but it has some quirks to fix out before it can beat K2. Okay?
Bro,
It's just how it is.
you're a bombshell fan. I don't want to hear it.
Ooh, that's bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Dude, you
Actually.
like Pain Train, Pory, literal
true.
Pain Train.
He brings up a valid point.
Is this
Yeah, at least Pain Train almost beat Yeti.
No, it didn't.
Bombshell
Yes,
should have beaten
Stop the
Yeti,
cat.
you moron.
No, yeah, you're
Oh,
right.
God.
You're right.
Oh,
You're
God,
right.
good.
You're right. You're right.
Stop the cat.
Stop the cap.
But my point is, civilian arc. You have no room to talk when.
My point is, you
You
like
know-
spinach on your pizza. I don't.
Yeah,
I
because
don't-
it's good.
I don't need-
Have you
I
ever
don't need to
have you
defend
ever had
myself here.
spinach on?
I
Have
don't
you ever
need-
had spinach on your pizza?
I don't
Have you
need to
ever
def-
had it? Have you ever tried it?
I
I
don't need to defend
personally
myself
have,
here.
but I
Has-
will tell you, Pory, it's not my favorite though.
Pory,
See, at least you tried it though, so I
Yes.
respect your opinion, Green.
Pory, here's
You're
the
not
thing.
being
I don't.
you're not being a favela. I mean, how can you say you don't like spinach, but you like bombshell? Bombshell is basically if spinach was a robot.
I don't
so
need to
valid.
defend myself. You literally like
Ooh.
cooking
guys,
vegetables on your pizza.
Guys, shut up for a second.
yeah,
Hold on.
vegetables on pizza are good, like
Guys,
mushrooms. You know.
Guys.
Okay,
Shut up,
wait.
Mantine. I'm
Man-
talking.
guys.
Mushroom isn't a
Pory,
real pizza.
fin-
Mushroom
Pory,
isn't a real
finish it up.
vegetable.
Finish up
Okay.
quick, and then let's hear what Mantine has to say.
Civ, you're dumb. Okay, Mantine.
Should my hot pizza wrap be made of saws or should it be a disc? What do you guys think?
It should be a saw, frankly.
It should be spinach
I've heard
pizza.
from some
I'm
that
doing it.
I've heard from some that it's a saw. I've also heard it's a disc, but
Okay, well we're gonna make this one a saw. My epic
Doing
hot
it, boys.
pizza replica.
I'm not even.
No,
I'm not
keep this
even
one.
doing
like
it. Not even
from the
planning
top
them all.
image, which is a 3D printed model of it, I believe. From what I've heard, it looks like the disc side, but I've also heard a little bit on the saw side as well. But but then the
Okay.
weapon on the wiki page says horizontal spinner. But
that doesn't even say anything.
Wait. Civ, you have no room to talk. You're the one that you know freaking cook your
guys hear it?
pizza
Can you
in the
guys hear it?
toaster.
oh yeah, that's true. Civilian Arc does cook his pizza on the toaster.
Yeah,
so
that's
this
what
would
I'm
be the perfect
saying.
robot to. This would be the perfect robot for him. So
Alright, hold on.
he muted himself completely. Can't even muted us temporarily.
No.
For
I
time
need to test it.
constraints.
I need to test it to see if this is working. Is this working, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the music? Can you hear the music?
No.
No.
For time constraints, I didn't have the time to put the pizza logo on there. So
Whatever. But
yeah.
yeah, kind of going on my opinion of hot pizza. Then once again, I love the idea of the paint job and the look of this robot. Like the pizza box, the pizza disc right there. I think that's a really cool looking robot.
Green.
Do I think it'll get in? I'm kind of on the maybe side with this one as well.
Same.
Because like I think it looks really cool, but I'm not sure in terms of its performance level, including other than the paint job and the fact that it looks really cool. I don't think there's really much unique about this robot because like I don't think it'd be that hard for an opponent to like box rush it and stop the horizontal spinner, or depending on how fast it can spin up. Because like definitely like the design bit is in the works because they have been doing reveals on Instagram on parts that they've made for this robot. So the build is in the process for this thing, but yeah, we'll probably find out within like the next
It's
few
nice build.
months whether the hot pizza got in or not. So what were you
Alright,
about to
Yeah.
say, Pory?
You guys can
I was
do
gonna
it.
say, Civ, what's your favorite pizza topping?
Nice one,
May-
Mantine.
May I direct
Dude.
your guys' attention to the podcast chat very quickly?
It's a very nice RA2 build, Mantine.
Thank
Oh,
you. It's
yeah,
my hot
definitely.
pizza
This
replica.
gotta be the
my hot
worst
pizza
thing I've
replica.
ever seen.
Kill yourself.
This has
Civ.
got to be the worst.
Civ,
And,
what's your
we're-
favorite topping?
I gotta go with the tried and true pepperoni pizza.
Oh,
Oh,
topping.
that's some
God.
basic stuff. What are you, QWERTY? QWERTY hit me up being like,
I don't want to hear it. I
I'm
don't
gonna
want
get
to
a
hear
ham
it.
and cheese sandwich from Subway. Like, bro, you got
I don't want to
eat
hear
some,
it.
branch
Ham
out,
and
eat
cheese
some
sandwich
unique
at
shit.
Subway. What the fuck?
I don't want to. I want to hear it. Pory.
Your QWERTY has no room to talk. He's the one. He bitched out of eating
Deadlift-
meatball marinara, man.
Here, know what?
Deadlift-
Civilian
How do you bitch out eating
civilian
meatball marinara? It's the only
make
good
a
thing on the
similar
menu.
bet. Civilian
Cringy.
argument.
Wait, everybody
Yeah.
shut the fuck up. Everybody shut the fuck up. Cringy, thank you. Oh god, that's the
Oh
only
my
good thing on
god.
the menu. Oh
Bro.
god, that's the only good thing on the menu.
Oh
Fuck Subway.
god.
Deadlift could only Pory. Deadlift could literally fight like 5 bite forces, and you're like, oh, it's gonna win.
It is gonna win.
Oh,
Gonna win why? Literally, what could it win? It's not gonna win.
Fight
it's not
Force
gonna
isn't
win
shit. It couldn't even
Battlebots,
beat
it's not
Chomp,
gonna-
dude.
It's not gonna win
Is
Battlebots.
he
That's
it's not gonna win
actually
Robots,
Is he
that's
wrong?
actually
It
true.
couldn't even beat. It couldn't even win Bugglebots.
I mean, it did
Like,
beat
Hey,
Trump.
Pokemon!
Look, all I'm gonna say
It
is, guys, Razor has one Robot Wars championship. How many does Bite Force have?
0.
All I'm gonna
True.
say. All I'm gonna
True.
say.
That's
One thing
true,
I want to
man.
say is Deadlift beat Failspear, who beat Chomp. Fight Force lost to Chomp, so
yeah, but
I don't know.
here's the counter argument, Pory.
That means Failspear can beat Fight Force.
Well,
Here's my counter
Pory,
argument.
I'm not sure if you really have any room to talk there because you lost to probably Deadlift lost to probably a less than 10-pound robot.
Yeah.
Green, I don't want to
So-
hear it.
It literally lost a needle. I don't want to hear.
We
your
let them
bullshit.
win.
I don't want to
Sure.
hear your bullshit.
Okay.
We didn't want Jackpot to look bad in
But
its
here's what
hometown.
I was
you know?
gonna say before Mantine told me to shut up. Civilian, you should set up a bet similar to what QWERTY did with his Subway thing. That your punishment is you have to eat a pizza with spinach and whatever other stuff Pory
Man,
mentioned.
fuck that.
It
Why
could
would I
be-
want to do
it
that?
could
Don't
punishment
waste the
for it.
pizzeria's time, man. Come on.
Pineapple is F tier.
I like
I
pineapple,
like pineapple
pizza.
on pizza.
Yeah.
Oh my
Taste.
god, you guys.
Oh
need
my
to fucking
lord.
End it all. I'm
Civilian
My
sorry.
Arch, does
goodness.
pineapple go on pizza or no?
Alright, guys, I'm
Mouth,
gonna
no,
fight-
it looks like.
I'm gonna.
Y'all have no taste palate,
Okay,
man.
Guys,
I'm a man of
viewers,
culture.
viewers, comment below. Does pineapple go on pizza or not?
Lieutenant Nomad
All I'm
has
gonna
my
say
back.
is Martin Luther King did not die, so you cannot have your right to put pineapple on pizza.
That's valid,
Okay.
actually.
But you know
That's
what?
what I'm saying.
Don't call me saying, oh, cringy. I'm throwing up everywhere. This is insane. And I told you.
Listen,
I told you.
boys.
Guys,
Listen, boys.
I'm
Pineapple
fighting.
has nothing to do with pizza. It's like putting spinach on pizza. It makes no sense, man.
Like you
Guys,
could.
good.
You're well within
Oh,
your
you
rights
you
to
probably
do so.
did it.
But
Civilian.
don't.
Have you ever tried spinach pizza?
Can you hear my music now?
No.
No.
Fuck.
Guys, my hot pizza.
See, he's
replica
avoiding
just-
my question, so he's never even tried it. So I don't want to hear it.
My hot pizza replica just beat a heavy metal noise. Now I'm gonna fight Rusty. I'll tell you how it goes.
Dope.
Look, I'm just trying to help you out.
Hot
Okay,
pizza replica
anyway,
is so good.
we're going to get to
The next one.
robot
Let's
thing.
get it
Unless
moving.
anyone
Hot
else has any
pizza
opinions
looks
on
dope.
hot pizza.
Boxy though. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, we got this one.
Oh
Which,
lord.
yeah, Robotic Death Company posted on social media hinting that a legendary robot from the Comedy Central era is looking to make
Legendary.
potentially make a return. I don't know about
Huggy
legendary,
Bear.
but the robot's got a
Huggy
lot
Bear's
of
dope.
the
Dude,
robot's got a
Huggy
lot of
Bear.
history to it, and
Huggy Bear fucks.
Yeah.
yeah, I think what we've heard is it's got a similar concept to what Huggy Bear had in the Comedy Central era. Then it's also got some vertical discs, similar to what it had when it competed in other competitions prior to when Battlebots returned in 2015. But other than that, there's not a lot about this robot that I know of personally. I don't know about the others, whether any of you have any more knowledge. What you got, Pory?
Okay, so Hugs and Kisses is built by the creator of Huggy Bear, which is one of my favorite middleweights, so please accept this. It competed in, like, the off seasons. Like, I think it competed in the 2009 season, if I'm not mistaken. I think it did pretty poorly. I think it might have won a fight or two, but it didn't do great. And I think that it'll stand the same this season, but we need more horizontal grabbing robots in Battlebots. So, about Greg Munson, I know you're watching this. I know you're a big fan of my content. You're king. Accept Hugs and Kisses, please. Thank you.
I don't think he likes robot supporters.
I don't think he likes the fan base. I think he purposely tries to, like, stay away. You know what I'm saying?
Greg Munson.
Yeah, is that your music, Civilian Arc? Is that the music you're trying to show off?
No. I have rap music that I want to try to rap in your podcast.
Oh, you're gonna rap?
Oh, you're gonna rap?
I'm trying
do
to.
it.
He's gonna spit.
I'm trying to get my music going, man.
Here, we gotta have a Mantine versus Civilian Arc rap battle.
Not rap, but dude, Cringy's
well,
from New Jersey. Let him rap.
Alright.
I need my music. I need to get my music going.
We got the Battlebot here. We got Hugs and Kisses. Winning a fight because Jason don't misses. You know,
Me and Hugs and Kisses.
Judge Jason,
Alright,
he
next
never
question.
misses.
Hold on.
Because we're gonna vote for Hugs and Kisses. and then
Jason
win,
misses
just like
on
Huggy
a
Bear.
daily basis.
Bro, I don't want to hear it. Judge Jason never misses.
I mean, he said he felt the tantrum be gigabytes, so I guess he missed.
Alright, one time he missed.
The legendary 3-judge miss.
Well, Mantine, have you even seen the rest of that season yet?
No. All I know is that like Hydra won or something. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, oh god, probably.
We'll never know. We'll never know.
Who knows? At least
Your
Tantrum didn't
guess is
win.
as good as
That's,
mine.
That's for sure. At least Tantrum didn't win.
Yeah, so Civilian, I'm gonna hear you rap then.
I don't know how to get my music going and how to get you guys to
Civilian's
hear
a
it.
coward. He won't rap against us.
Pory, tell me how to do it.
Alright,
Pory,
look.
tell me how to do it and I'll do it.
Guys, I
Just
made
rap, dude.
Who the fuck is jamming right now?
You can
Guys,
tell
I made
what
a-
it was.
I made a functional A10 Warthog in Robot Arena 2, and I'm now beating up Typhoon 2. This is very epic. What's going on?
We got Typhoon 2. Stormtrooper beat him.
Shut the True based.
So now we went from
Okay.
talking about Hugs and Kisses to rapping, pretty much.
We got Storm 2. They should have beaten Typhoon 2.
It feels so empty without me by Eminem. Oh, is that what you're saying right now?
Fortnite Battle Pass.
Oh,
Got
dude,
Harden
I
there.
just
They
shit.
lost to Team Minus.
I just shit. Oh my ass.
And then when they
You're
beat,
ready.
beat Cobalt, it'll all be behind us. And
That
you know,
Fortnite Battle Pass.
Fortnite Battle Pass.
That shit a classic. Hold on, I'll play that one for you guys.
Fortnite
Bumps.
Battle Pass. Call me John Taffer.
Oh no. No,
Play it.
not for...
I think I'm
Who's
hearing
playing?
what you're playing, Civilian.
Who's playing like God's
Beep.
Plan right now? Oh Jesus, I didn't mean to do that.
I punch a gingerbread boy, cause he pretend bread boy. Little cookie man never waved to me, so he got knocked out. Cause I'm low.
Oh my god.
Oh
This is
gosh.
the worst podcast
Shoot shine.
ever.
Cause no one wanted your sticky tiara. Cause no one wanted your stinky chair. Man, why are you talking about the cool kids who take archery? You were shrinky dink. You're gonna get a funeral if you don't wise up and call me Simmy Papa.
Nighttime. I mean, it's 5 o'clock. That's basically nighttime. Y'all remember Cartoon Network in Adventure Time.
That show's a classic. That show's a banger.
Anybody else gonna rap now for us, or am I going to get the
Uh,
next robot then?
Yeah, I'm gonna rap. We got
Oh, jeez.
3 and 2. It beat the Loach and Black Knight, and it beat Shrike too.
Shrike, dude.
Then it lost to Emily. Civilianer can't rap because he is my friend of me.
Dude, rap is crap. I'm so true. Who's next?
Okay, next robot then.
We got Mantine. All he listens to is Led Zeppelin.
That's not true. I listen to Metallica. Alright, what's the next
That's even worse. Like,
No,
Okay,
it's not.
hopefully
I don't
we
listen.
Hope we might get
Those
Sea Hugs
are-
and Kisses back. We'll find out. But next
I hope
robot.
so.
Okay.
Fucking, oh, dude, it's Prince. I love Prince. Alright, next question. Dude, Painsaw? Why are these people still here?
Who are these people?
But yeah,
Oh, God.
Year
Painsaw. We
2020,
got
Painsaw.
Alright, we got Painsaw.
Yeah, lifter up front, chainsaw. They got two saws supposedly, like along the lifter, right there to cause a little bit of extra damage. And I hear flamethrower as well. And no, I'm pretty sure this is not a clusterbot team. Like with that second image right down there is kind of like leading towards. I'm pretty sure it's
think
not
they
a
just vote for
clusterbot. I'm
one.
pretty sure it's just one
Top
250-pound robot. So.
Top 10 robots of all time. Number 10, not this one. Next time. Dude, when has a chainsaw ever done any damage to a robot? Ever?
Wait, that's a
Saw blades.
chainsaw robot?
Yeah, it's got chainsaws
That's not a
that kind of.
chainsaw.
They got
because
chainsaws on the
I've heard
wedge
it's
that
right
feed
in
into the
between
lifter.
dividers,
It's
like
a thing.
between the lifter and the wedgelet. There's supposedly a chainsaw.
Saw
Going to be
blades
in each
isn't-
of those two.
Saw
like,
Blaze
slots.
is a shitty hammer
Saw Blaze
dear
isn't a
God.
chainsaw. What the fuck are you guys doing?
Saw Blaze was a chainsaw in 2018.
No, it was not.
Wait,
Yes,
was
it was.
It was just a Snowbot. No, it wasn't.
It might have been run
Well-
by a chainsaw, but I'm saying like the actual
No.
like chain, the entire
Oh,
chain.
okay. I'm not meaning like
thingy.
I'm not meaning like chainsaw. I mean like regular saw. Like what?
Oh, you
Oh,
mean the
yeah.
superior weapon? You mean the
You
superior
said
weapon?
chainsaw,
Okay.
and I was like, bruh.
Sorry, chainsaw is not what meant to be said. Yeah, saw basically. So.
Pory, do I have
Okay,
to
why
punch
don't you guys share your opinions on Painsaw then?
Green, do I have to
okay.
touch the gingerbread boy again?
I gotta. Yeah. The year's 2020. We got this robot Painsaw. They got accepted, but COVID-19.
What?
Painsaw.
Yeah, Painsaw I think was accepted for.
They were accepted.
I think they were accepted for the 2020 season, but then
Yes.
yeah, then COVID happened and the chaos got going. So
Yeah, I'm not sure if this robot will get in.
Yeah,
I kind of want it to because I like it, but it's probably I'm not confident.
I want it to as well because like I think Battlebots needs more lifters, and then they're incorporating saws in there, kind of like do a little bit of damage, but I'm kind of leaning more on the no side as well, and that's once again not meant to be an insult towards the team because I want to see this robot get in. It's like it's different from a lot of the competition weapon-wise because like there's too many spinners out there, and this is a non-spinner right here. I think it'd be really cool to see this robot in there, but
Is it? Wait, guys, am I blind? I don't see a fucking chainsaw.
They're on the wedges, the yellow wedges. Those are
yes.
chainsaws.
Yeah, right on the yellow
Oh.
wedges there on that bottom image, right
Well,
there.
that's
so.
so stupid. What?
Look, I only want to see the look. It's nice. It's like whatever. I only really kind of want to see them in because they were already promised a spot in 2020, and it's already built. So it's like I guess you just let it in. But honestly, I just want everyone from 2020 back in, except for like fucking Nelly. You know, I think we're good without Nelly for a little bit.
I'd like to have
Respectfully.
everyone.
Well, I mean,
I'd like
Nelly
to have
already got
everyone-
rejected for.
Oh, I know. I hope
But
they
yeah.
stay rejected, but you know.
I want
know-
them to
you know
give
who
Nelly
I-
a season 2 because, like, I think that some of the new concepts that they used to improve Nelly kind of like I think would help it do a little bit better. I don't know about that much better.
It's a British hammerbot.
But yeah, with
Come
Painsaw,
on, bro.
like what you said, they had a spot in 2020 before COVID hit, and I'm sure they used the 2 seasons in between to like improve the design a little bit, like what Poltergeist did after they unfortunately got rejected last season. They used the extra time to prepare the robot a little more and make it better. And I'm sure Painsaw did something very similar to that, and I think we could see. I don't know about giant nut-worthy potential, but I think we could see more potential out of this robot than potentially some of the others that we could be seeing in Battlebots. So, if that makes any sense. So, next
Hear me
person
out.
talk
Hear me
about
out.
this
I
Any
have a theory. Um,
the game theory? Let's hear it.
if yeah, it's a game theory. If Painsaw gets in and it fights Gigabyte, Mantine's gonna be scared of it.
Dude, holy shit. You'd be scared of it if it was a robot, let's be real.
Robot can beat any robot in the field.
Okay.
Like who?
what-
It
Well,
literally
yeah.
lost to
Everyone.
Valkyrie.
Alright, hold on.
Yeah,
let me-
that was unlucky. There's literally only like 2 robots that I'm afraid of robot fighting. Other than
Really?
that,
Is that
And who is
so?
it? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it?
Its name.
Um,
If one of them
Tails.
Sawblaze, I'm gonna get pissed.
no, I think Robot could take Sawblaze.
Okay.
I'm only really worried about Robot fighting Hydra, which happened.
True.
Take that
And-
L, Pory.
And I don't think Robot has a chance against Rotator.
Or Gigabyte.
Robot would
Tantrum.
trash Gigabyte. I don't want to hear it.
Tantrum.
It would
Okay.
trash Tantrum.
Yeah, get back to this. 'Cause, so,
Oh.
how about y'all? A few of y'all share your opinions on Painsaw then, before we have to
It's
cut
a-
out a lot of this
dude,
footage.
It's
So.
a fucking wedge, bro. I don't even know what
this
what
thing.
can you say about it? Yeah. It's
At first, I
it's a
thought it was
lifter.
just like a flipper that just called itself Painsaw for no reason, but now it's just now it's cosplaying as like early Matilda, and
fucking early Matilda.
using chainsaw as a weapon. I can't believe it, man.
When I said chainsaw, that's a misleading, because I don't think it has a chainsaw. I know Doomba's.
It does.
Oh, those are chainsaws, Green. Those are in the wedge, where those lines in the yellow.
Yeah,
Those are chainsaws.
Well, I'm meaning like a regular saw is kind of like what I'm going at, but not like
Oh,
an
yeah, that's what you're
actual
going at. Like,
actual
it's-
like chainsaw, like what Doomba is proposing.
Well, no, it's not. It doesn't have a chainsaw as in like a tool that you use to cut
But it has
wood,
the chain that's a
but
saw.
it has the chain
Yeah.
and it runs like a saw.
Yeah.
A
Two
chainsaw.
chains.
It's got 2 of them
So-
things. That's
Two
even more than
chains.
Doomba.
No way. It's
Two
hit artist
chains.
2 chains.
But there isn't really much to say. I would honestly be really hype if they got in, but I don't think if they do get in, which I kind of doubt they will. I think that they're gonna be an 0-3 or 0-4 bot, honestly.
I'd probably say
Painsaw.
1 win, but I'm kind of in the same boat that Pory's in, at least for that. So
They're gonna feed it
feel
to
like-
Tombstone, man.
probably, honestly, Tombstone
Yeah, that
first draws Swamp Thing or something like that. If
Loses,
Swamp Thing gets
takes
in,
an L.
and then we'll
takes an
draw
L.
Painsaw next or something like that. But yeah, anything else on Painsaw, or should we get to the next robot then?
No.
Next robot. Revolve. So, lifter
What the fuck
and
is
a
this?
drum spinner as well. Multiple weapons. So,
It's
that
gonna be like multiple iterations. I'm gonna give us a little bit of a rundown what we're actually seeing here.
yep.
This is
Alright.
Please
Pory
do.
So it was originally
Holy
that's why it's called Revolve. It was originally supposed to be a turret shell thing with a drum and a scoop. They've since ditched the turret and are looking towards a redesign, which is the top.
Okay.
The top one is the most recent one, the top photo, and looking for a name change is what they're saying. So it might not be Revolve for long, but look out for something like it.
Ah,
They can name it
gotcha.
Pory.
And I think instead of a turret, they're doing Omni wheels.
What
Yeah,
the fuck?
I've been here. Yeah, because I noticed Omni Wheels is something they're looking at coming with for this one, and
Or Mechanism wheels. I apologize.
yeah. But either way, though, I think this would be a really interesting concept for Battlebots. I'm not sure if it would get accepted. I don't even want to know. So, Why not?
Holy
Let's go ahead
shit.
and hear from a few
Oh.
of you what you guys think of
General
Revolve
Gal.
as of
Um,
now.
Holy shit,
Okay.
guys. I
I
can't
have an
believe
opinion.
Holy shit, guys. I can't believe it.
Mantine,
Mantine and
shut up. I'm
civilians,
getting an
shut up.
opinion.
Mantine and
It's
civilians, shut
opinion
up so we can
time.
hear what Pory has to say.
Dude, who cares?
This is a really interesting concept, and it kind of reminds me of like a Robot War Series 4 machine. That said, I have some concerns about it. My big concern is like I guess it really depends on if the scoop is a lifter or a flipper, but like I don't know if that.
It's powered by like a singular piston.
So in theory, it would be able to self-right probably.
No, not where it's like it doesn't look like it.
That's my first big concern. The second one is just I don't know it's an ambitious design, but it's interesting. It's a weird thing, and it looks like something you see in Robot War Series 4. Do I think it'll
know
get
the
in?
robot you're talking about, but I don't remember its name.
Yeah. Do I think it's gonna get in? No. I'm sorry. Your robot's cool, but doubt.
Alright.
So before we go, I want to ask Mantine a question. What's your opinion on General Gao?
Oh well, let me talk about this robot first. So, I really like this robot's run in the original series, where it went 3 and 3. Its only losses were to Black Warrior, Tintamushi, and Death Ray. In season 4, had a lot of success, going 3 and 1. I don't know how they're going to. Well, originally the robot.
It roughed up Team Killa a lot too.
Yeah, no, well, here's the thing. Originally, the robot was made in the lightweight category, so I don't know how they're going to scale it up to heavyweight. But I'm really interested to see how they scale up General Gao from lightweight to heavyweight. Really good job by the team to get back into the sport, and I'm really excited to see how it goes.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Okay, Civilian, what were you talking about? But briefly talk about that before, and then talk about this robot.
Oh no! I was just referencing what Mantine said about like General Gao and shit when he put
This
it on
robot is
podcast.
literally General Gao. Next
Yeah.
question.
It is.
Yeah, so do I think this robot will get in? Kind of like around the same boat as Pory. Like, this would be a really cool concept to see at Battlebots, but I'm kind of leaning against it, kind of. But it's another one I really want to see get in, because, like, it's got some really interesting design features to it, and it's Omni Wheels once again, and, like, some of, like, Glitch and Shatter, which is always pretty cool to see, and yeah, but then of course competitive field's gonna be difficult this year. So, like unless the Battlebots expands the field once again, I think it's gonna be a little tricky for Revolve to get in. But you never know. So, all right, moving on. Unless anybody else has any objections to the next. Anyway,
Yeah, I
though,
like coming on.
for the next robot, we're going over Slamjob, which
Holy shit.
we know Slamjob from Comedy
No
Central
fucking
era
way.
Battlebots. What's everyone's thoughts on Slamjob? Unfortunately, we don't know a lot about the new Slamjob design, but
I actually heard some insight that they're experimenting with this new form of axe. That's it's gonna basically be running on the same technology that Blip is. So you know what? If we see, we'll see if it translates. It's like a kinetic axe, which a very complex way to do it. But I'm very excited to see if the rumors are true, and we're just gonna have to see.
yeah. What do you got, Pory?
I mean, Slamjob is truly a legend in Battlebots field. I mean, it had some success in the Comedy Central era. It won a handful of fights, but after the Comedy Central era is when it truly shined, like winning tons of competitions and being one of the best live scene robots. Now it'll be interesting to see if it replicates that success. Also, I think, I mean, they haven't shown us much. I think the logo is very well done. I think whoever made that is a very good graphic designer, very, very talented. And we're looking forward to Slamjob.
Beautiful. But anyway, before I ask Pory specifically my next question, I got a little something I gotta show off, like what we did when we interviewed Globetrotter earlier.
Slamjob is probably one of the more notable axes of the Comedy Central era, I would say, outside of a small handful of robots, of course, like Frenzy and Judge.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, I'm looking forward to it because April Fools, I made this profile up.
Wait, what? You did?
Uh-huh.
I'll kick your
Wait,
ass.
no.
No.
No way. No way.
No way.
Did you actually? Mm-hmm. Oh my god, what?
We're recording a whole fucking segment here. I pulled up fucking info.
Yep. Bro, I was gonna do it last week, but then you postponed the thing.
Okay, anyway, so yeah, Pory, how do you respond to that then?
I got him. That was like the ultimate trick. I genuinely did not think that QWERTY would fall for that. Like, I legitimately thought he'd just write it off and be like, yeah, this is obviously a shit post. But, like, he was falling for it. He was like, DMing me, like, yeah, we gotta cover Slamjob on the news. I'm like, yeah, dude, we do.
Yeah, that's one of the funniest April Fool's Day pranks. I think the number one, though, would probably be when my mechanics professor this semester, pretty much we had class on April Fool's Day. He taught the entire class in Russian.
That's pretty sick.
That was so funny. It was so funny. So, yeah, next robot then. So I don't think there's much more to talk about with Slamjob. Alright, next up we got Snakebyte. And Snakebyte's another one, like Flame Reaper, where it's a mystery, pretty much. Because, like, yeah, I've heard, like, Grabber, Flipper, and Lifter for weaponry out of their application video. But it's another one where we haven't really seen what the design looks like. So.
Is this the cowboy team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
the
link to their application video will be in the description.
The one where they talk about how they almost died. It's like,
yep.
No.
Yeah, so it's really hard to judge this robot really and whether we think he'll get in, just because, once again, we haven't seen much about this design so far. So, yeah, I don't know if anyone else has anything else to add to that, but.
Without any design, there's not really anything that can contribute.
I know they used to compete on the live circuit in ye olden days.
Yeah.
But I don't know I don't think they've been active like at all since then. I know even back then they were nothing special. But I guess you could say they have some sort of experience. So, you know, I'm down with that. I'm cool with that.
Fair enough. So, I think let's go ahead and get on to the next robot then. Hopefully we'll get to see more out of Snakebyte on exactly what it is at some point soon. And then that could get
more
covered.
like anything.
Yep. Well, we know some stuff about it, because they've mentioned a few things about the robot in the application video.
Unlike Flame Reaper, you know.
So, next one.
Thanks for giving us something to work with, guys.
Yeah. Alright, Trilobot. So, this one made up by Edward Robinson himself. He's been releasing some weapon test videos, just showing that like the build for this robot is in process and, well, about finished it sounds like, because he's been doing a bunch of big weapon tests on it. And
this
literally.
Okay, I have something I want to talk about with this. Haha! the newest jab. I supposedly stood around a hotel room in my underwear yelling at someone. I haven't even owned a pair of underwear in years. Hate them, never wear them.
It's big if
We won't
true.
get into the fact that I never yelled at anyone in the hotel. Never had any reason to. That's not a provable fact. The fact that I don't own any underwear and haven't in years just shows me no matter what people say, someone will believe them, no matter if they have a clue or not. It's just another attempt at a shield, but funny to me, as I know that I haven't even worn underwear in a decade or more. Seriously, get over it and just leave me alone.
Oh gosh. Okay, Civilian Arc, what do you want to talk about next?
This cat literally looks like a fucking RA2 bot. I know we've been.
Oh no,
using
that joke
He
has
made it
been
in
made
second
many
life.
times.
Oh yeah.
He made it in
Oh,
a video
oh,
game. It literally is made in a video game, guys. Come on.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I actually
second
do
life.
have serious thoughts on this.
Yeah. How about you share that?
Okay, so well, first off, like Civ said, it looks like something that was designed in RA2.
Oh, you guys are in for a treat.
This thing is,
Okay.
Mantine's probably making it literally right now.
No, never.
So he posted like a test video of this, and like literally one of the hammers like flew off in it, and like he filmed, like the way it was filmed was really weird because it was like behind a bush the whole time. One of the hammers flew off, and realistically, like as much as I do like the aquatic marine force machines, you know, this thing's gonna hit a robot once, its hammer's gonna fly off, and it's gonna like get bodied for the rest of the fight. There's no way this thing is gonna win a fight. Let's be real. If it even gets in, I mean it's cool looking, but I don't have faith in it. I'm sorry, Ed. I really am.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a similar boat myself, because like we get a unique spinner design here compared to lots of stuff we've seen like in the past, but I think the amount of damage it's gonna do isn't gonna be that much compared to like several of the other spinners we've seen in the past here, just based off of the test video that Pory is talking about, which I was watching a little bit before recording this podcast. So like I definitely have some concerns about the amount of damage it can actually do to an opponent. And then of course there's what Pory mentioned as well, where one of the hammers did seem to go flying off, but it sounds like he's done more testing on it just to like improve that and hope that that doesn't happen. But I still think it's not gonna do that well. Like I know that's kind of what's been going on in the past few seasons with them. Like they've definitely been entertaining in the battle box for the most part. Like, there's no doubt about that, I feel like. Most of their fights, they've been able to make those fun, even if they ended up on the losing end somehow. Like, I could see this robot getting in, and just because, like, Edward Robinson's been in BattleBots multiple seasons, and this is a different this is like a different spinner design compared to most of the others we've seen in the past, but I think this is going to be another one where I don't think it's going to win many fights, but it'd still be a really cool one to see in there. And yeah, good to see Edward Robinson back once again for another BattleBot season. So whoever's next.
Fun fact. Edward Robinson has not won a BattleBots fight since 2018 when he beat Gemini with Sharkocrian.
Damn.
Fun fact.
That does sound reasonable.
That's true. Al.
Without getting into too much of what
why
Edward
is
Robinson's been up to, I will say one thing you cannot take away from him ever is, I guess, how he makes the bots look. They're all very true to the theme.
Oh yes.
All very creative. But as for the bot itself, far from his finest work. IMO.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Civilian Arc or Mantine. Either of you.
God damn it! I really can't find it.
Robot.
Mantine's probably making it.
Go ahead, Mantine. I'm still trying to find it.
Spot RA2.
I'm still trying to find it.
When is
Talk shit about it so I
just
can
sucks at
find it.
RE2 and he's never
Literally killers. Literally
He's never going to be Cringus.
Who are you talking to, dude? Like,
you bum. He'll never be
dude,
Cringus.
I'm not
He'll never
listening.
have the same amount of RE2 skill that I do. Just stop fucking trying.
What?
Poser.
What?
This is kind of interesting. But
Interesting. I don't know if interesting is the word, but yeah.
Okay, I have it. Okay, here we go.
What do you
Here we go,
have?
boys. I was told to come here and answer yet another classist bigot who thinks I don't deserve to fight robots because I don't love Munnet. I've done one fundraiser for the robot. One. That's all. That's my big public fundraising effort. One fundraiser on the Team FB page. The GoFundMe I was accused of pilfering for the RV was always for the RV. It was never for or about the bots, and I used 100% of it towards the RV. Oh, the utter horror of it. Using a GoFundMe for an RV to buy an RV. I should be ashamed of myself. I own my bike, paid for and 100% legal. I own my business that all pays all my bills. And ND, I work at it almost every day. I own everything I have. My home is cemented to the ground, far from being homeless, and I think this entire thing is silly. I don't own anyone. Anything, especially a
own
bunch of
anyone,
classist
okay.
bigots. Anyone that can make.
Oh gosh.
I think that's enough.
Yeah, probably.
Alright.
That's all that's there for the
Yeah.
copy pasta. That's all
Yeah.
that's there.
Lord Robinson is using literal Home Depot tier sledgehammers to put on his robot.
Yeah, aren't they like actually off the shelf Home Depot sledgehammers?
Yes, they
goddamn
are.
From
right
what
they
I've
are.
heard, yes, but
But they're
This is a surprise to no one, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean he's always been like the junk bot guy. I mean,
yeah.
and like while yes, this thing isn't gonna hold up in combat, and I don't even think it's gonna get accepted. Like, he is definitely like an artist with it. Like his robots do look cool at least.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, hands down.
I gotta give credit where credit's due.
Yep, no
There's
doubt.
no credit, dude. This
Trilobot
thing does
doesn't-
not look good. It looks like a
I
He
like,
mentioned
I like
you're a
Trilobot
bum.
this robot. Plus,
It is
I
a-
imagine he's probably gonna do more work with the actual look of the robot, like when we get closer to the next season, if it gets confirmed.
Well,
So.
here's the thing, right?
Mantine,
Look at the top robot and then look at the bottom robot and tell me how not similar they are in any feasible.
Well, it's not complete though, to be fair.
Yeah, because like that's a CAD right up there.
It's not a CAD, it's a
design.
fucking video game, guys.
Green
CAD or video
All
game version
people.
of it.
Come on,
That shit, they made that shit in Tinkercad, dog. This is not like.
they done made it in GTA.
okay, Mantine, you have a good point, but there's something you got to keep in mind in this. Trilobot doesn't own anyone anything.
That's true. He doesn't own anyone anything. That's
He
a very-
doesn't own
Also,
underwear either. So you
Another
know what?
thing that a
Technically,
joke that I'm
that's-
surprised no one's taken advantage of. We haven't made any references to the lightweight Trilobot from Comedy Central.
Because no one gives a shit. Though.
Remember when it beat? No, I mean no one gives a shit. Remember when it beat Shishkabot? Shishkabot was a fucking pancake from the
The
polarizers.
fuck is
That was a
Shishkabot?
That was
a-
a Trilobot fight?
yeah. There was a
Isn't
Trilobot
like
fight. Trilobot.
Gladiator.
I literally only know that photo because of my days surfing the Battlebots wiki. That's it.
Yeah,
Who cares?
That was-
Shishkabot is
that was
literally
Trilobot.
just Shishkabot is literally just lightweight Gladiator. Like, I want to hear it.
What?
It's a wedge.
It's literally like a basic wedge. What do you mean gladiator?
You
No,
heard
the
it,
Shishkabot
Gladiator.
I'm thinking about is. No, I know what he's talking about. Isn't it literally just Gladiator? Or is that a different one?
It's
Yeah,
literally a
lightweight
fucking gray box
Gladiator.
wedge, guys. Come on.
It's like a boring
Oh,
version
you're
of the
thinking
Crusher.
of RE2 one. No, it's not that one.
Yeah.
You're
That
thinking-
one.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's a gray box wedge.
Yeah, it's a boring the Crusher.
Oh,
It's
base.
Whiplash.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's Whiplash. Yeah.
I think it's more that's insulting. Don't insult the.
Don't insult Shish Kabat like that.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
That's very
so
hurtful.
anyway, anything else on Trilobot, or should we move on to the?
It's fucking.
Uh,
It's not. It's also not gonna exist. I mean, it's gonna exist, but not anything close to the CAD or the video game version.
Dude, it'd still be more accurate than Rampage. Let's be real here.
Dude, no. Daniel Knox is
Hey,
gonna come back.
Daniel Knox does not know how to use metal. He does not know how to solder.
That's true, actually. Yeah, he does like.
You
glue and
believe
shit.
he's gonna make all those complex shapes on the CAD?
Yeah, I mean,
Dude,
that's.
this is a TDG slander campaign right now.
Oh God.
This is made by the same guy who built the disposable hero. Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Moving on
Who?
to the next robot. Vanguard, which I think
Is this
one,
last
I
one?
think this is one of the last ones, if I recall right. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Vanguard, the bottom one, was the robot they applied with last season, but unfortunately got rejected. So they applied once again.
Bum.
I don't
Not
think that's
making
the
it in
full
next.
design, but that's an image we've seen from the build so far of Vanguard.
That's what went to Extreme Robots.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
it just
too.
competed in the live scene.
Yep, just competed at Extreme Robots, where I heard it had some solid performances.
I heard it was
That's-
very like it didn't have very good grip on the
Yeah.
floor. I heard the lifter broke because of screws.
I heard the lift. I saw the lifter. I watched the one fight.
I
they fought
watched
Mega
the fight
Mouse.
too. It looked decent for a first outing.
Yeah.
But you know, need to see a little bit more to be sold. Looks decent.
Oh, it's one of the first robots on this list. It's like, I think it is actually the second or first robot on this list that is actually fucking exists. So that's a pretty good start.
A dub.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all I can say, really.
Although even though it does exist, it'll probably not be able to compete.
That'd be pretty.
I wouldn't say that.
Let's be real here.
Yeah, so like it's built by the same team that came with Vanquish in 2018. It's split in half by Ice Wave, and then also took a relatively destructive loss.
I rest
to,
my point.
Captain Shredderator, but and then they also assisted with Ragnarok the following season, who also unfortunately did not do that well. But like Vanguard's one I want to see get into Battlebots, but I'm kind of leaning towards the no side once again. That I don't think it's going to get accepted, but I want to be proven wrong because I want to see this robot in action, and as well because I personally think it has a bit more potential than what some of the designs that Jack Tweedy has come with in the past has had. So like I don't think I would probably predict like a 1-2 record if they do 3 fights once again, but we need to see this one in action. Like what was said, it sounds like it did have some design flaws at Extreme Robots with its fight with Mega Mouse, but they still got quite a few months to improve it for Battlebots, so plenty of time for that. And yeah, what's everyone else's thoughts on Vanguard?
So I don't actually have anything to say. I just don't want anyone else talking. Nah, but Vanguard is definitely gonna be like Jack Tweedy's redemption bot, like how Slammo was for Danby. This is definitely a big bot for him. Like this he has a lot to like prove. He's definitely a capable builder. He's definitely like very skilled, and I think Vanguard's going to be a full reflection on that once he gets all the kinks worked out, which I think he will. And as long as it can lift an actual bot 250 pounds, it's done better than half the lifter field that we have right now. So I'm for it.
I would agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it's pretty much just as long as it gets in. I think the fact that it's diving into live events is a good thing because then it can work out the kinks by fighting like random live scene bots as opposed to getting beaten on TV right away. So it can figure out like, oh, the lifter needs this different, oh, the drive needs this different. And like you said, you are right that this is like the redemption bot because like Craig Danby is known as like oh haha your robots randomly die on TV, like that's like mean. Meanwhile Jack Tweedy, like I guarantee that guy gets asked like once a week at least, like what was it? Is Vanguard gonna get split in half? Like Vanquish getting split in half is like probably eating away at this dude, and he's like determined to get back on TV and just like go all out and show that he has a performance. And I've seen him in the Discord server saying that like he definitely wants to fight Ice Wave again and beat it. He wants that revenge, and I would love to see Vanguard Ice Wave rematch if Vanguard's like at 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Civilian Arc or Mantine, you two have anything to say about Vanguard?
It's one of the robots of all time. We'll see if it can lift anything.
Controversial.
Yeah, well, hopefully it can actually lift. It would probably shit on Ice Wave if it actually worked, so
Yeah.
I wish them luck. It's actually a real robot that exists, so it's better than like 90% of these robots on the list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like what Pory said, I think it's a good idea to have Vanguard like in like lots of the live events, because like because like I imagine like anybody from Battlebots that's gonna work to decide who's gonna be in the competitive field for next season. Like they'll have stuff to watch on Vanguard just to see the concept work in action, and then of course Vanguard will eye a lot of those design flaws that they're noticing, like in Extreme Robots, and I think that could give Vanguard an edge towards getting in potentially, but I'm still kind of uneasy about that just because the competitive field should be bigger, but probably won't be. So who knows anyway, but I hope we'll get to see Vanguard in at some point, because I think it'd be a neat robot to bring to Battlebots at some point, and we'll probably have to find out. So, yeah, anything else on Vanguard? Sounds like no. So, yeah, so now that will do it for part 2 of this podcast, as Vanguard is the 17th and the final robot for us to discuss here. Thanks for checking out part 2 of this Potential Newcomers podcast. Super fun to get to discuss a lot of these robots. There will, in fact, be a part 3, but that's going to be linked in the description of this video, and will be going on the Green Square Secret Stash, which will feature any of these bozos here who hang around who wish to share their opinion on the 11 robots that I did happen to get to interview. So give them a shot to share their opinions on those robots, in case if there was any that didn't end up showing up to those. So
You just call me a bozo?
Yeah.
You like Minotaur and Black Dragon.
Yeah.
Don't want to hear it, buddy.
No, I'll rephrase that. These favelas.
Wow. I don't want to, Green. I don't want to hear it. Did you like spinach on pizza?
No, I've tried it.
Well, then I don't want to. At least you tried it. You weren't like
I've tried it
being
before.
a big.
And I'll specify,
being a big baby.
I've had spinach on a pizza. I got it from a Blaze Pizza, which is right near my door. So.
Blaze?
There's a pizza place called Blaze Pizza.
Is it run by Blaze?
Which is a wood-fired pizza oven place, and no.
Was it a red sauce pizza or a white sauce pizza?
Red.
Well, that's why it wasn't good, because you gotta get the white sauce pizza with it.
Well, they didn't have white sauce, so
Why would you have spinach in the topping and not have white sauce?
Pory, I think you're so worked up about.
Yo, I'm calling out. I'm gonna yell at Blaze right now.
Pory, what's your deal about white sauce, buddy? What's your deal about that?
Okay, so
no, I'm saying the white sauce.
Anyway, before you guys continue your conversation, yeah, thanks for watching this podcast. If you want to learn more about each of these robots, pretty much lots of their links will be located in the description, if any, for some of these, because I know some of these robots, I know there'll be a few places for some of them.
They're fossils.
No places for others, but yeah, we'll provide as much as I can. Thanks for checking this out. We'll maybe see you for part 3. Otherwise, I'll hopefully see you for the next podcast.
Slap that like button with your forehead.